pumped. Hey, where's that hat from?
Oh, it's a Durango Exchange. It's like an outdoor store here in Durango, Colorado.
Oh, it's cool. What a cool
Thank you,
logo.
thank you, sir.
Yeah, you know what's funny is people were making fun of me for this hat because it got the rope in the front,
Yeah,
but I'm a huge fan.
I'm digging them.
I'm a huge
Yeah,
fan of the front.
I like a bunch of these newer hats that are coming out.
Are you? Where do you live? You live in Colorado?
Yes, sir. I live in Durango, Colorado.
Hey, what's Durango like? Is it like pickup truck town?
No, it's like a bike town, bike skiing, rafting.
Oh, like bicycle.
Yes, sir.
Outdoorsy town like Boulder. It's like
Yes,
tons
sir.
of fit people running around, all that stuff. Good healthy
Yes,
vibes.
sir. It's always busy. There's a bunch of bikers in town this weekend for the holiday.
You got just a Whole Foods just filled with hot women.
There is no Whole Foods, no,
No,
sir.
no Whole Foods. Okay, all right. Doesn't
No,
seem
sir,
very
not yet.
Colorado. What's the store there in Durango? Like the spot, like where people go buy all the healthy stuff, like the kale and
Oh,
the
there's a
organic
natural
bacon.
grocer, natural oasis, the Durango Co-op.
Is it how big is Durango?
So then I just moved up here about 2 years ago, so it's all kind of new to me. But I think it's around like 20,000 people.
Durango. Okay, so it's small. Why is it famous? Why do I know it? Was there like some gunfight there or something, or was it like where is it some like have some historical a small city in
Uh,
southwestern Colorado near the New Mexico border? Oh
there
yeah,
was the young,
20,000 people.
there was a kid named I think Seth Coos that he does like the world biking stuff, like the kind of like that Tour de France kind of stuff, and he
Uh-huh.
won something in that this last year. He's a local guy. I don't know much about that world.
It says it was a historic mining town. All right, that's probably how I know it. I mean, it's like just one of those names. Everyone knows Durango, Colorado, but shit, with 19,000 people, you'd think no one knows it, but everyone knows it.
Yes, sir. Where are you from?
I'm in California. I'm in Santa Cruz.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born in Oakland, and then I've kind of been in this area the whole time. I went to college down south in Santa Barbara. It's like 300 miles south of me. That seems like a lifetime ago,
Okay.
but I've always just been in this area.
And you got a couple boys.
Yeah, three boys. Yeah,
How old are they?
7, and 1 9.
All right.
Yeah. How about you?
Yes, sir. I have two boys. I have a 22-year-old son, and I have a 6-year-old son, Braxton and Quincy.
Wait,
My
how old are
oldest,
you? Have two boys,
I have
Braxton
a
and
six,
Quincy,
yes, sir.
6
And
and
then
what?
my
And
oldest,
21?
say that again.
6 years old and 21 years old?
22, yes, sir.
Too.
And then my oldest boy is a Marine security guard. He's done two things or two tours or whatever, yes, sir. At one in Saudi Arabia at the embassy and one in Africa.
Dang, and you're so proud, huh?
He's my favorite person in the world, sir. He's a pretty cool guy.
Dude, that's awesome. Um, were you in the military, Russell?
No, sir. I was born with disabilities. I started having my first surgeries when I was 3 days old.
What were you? When you say born with disabilities? What do you mean? What were you born with?
So then I was born with a real severe case of bilateral club feet. Uh, and then I have issues pretty much from my chest down. Uh, I've had over 30 surgeries. I've been through the medical system a bunch.
Dude, that's crazy. I would have never in a million years thought that looking at what the physical specimen you've turned yourself into. Were you I mean, you are a freak. Were you oh, Caleb, hi. Were you this is nuts. Were you so as a kid were you all messed up looking?
Yes, sir. I started out having surgery at 3 days old. I wore like those Forrest Gump shoes. I've done all that. Uh, yes, sir. So then my legs are real skinny. That's why I rock that pink flamingo. I figured I should pick a bird leg, and I picked a pink flamingo one.
Dude, that's dope.
Yeah.
Um, why were you born like that? Was your mom? Was your mom on
Uh,
drugs or alcohol, or is it just like just something that just happens?
it was just something that happened. I mean, you get all kinds of different things in the doctor world and the medical world. So then I've been told it was genetics. I've been told it was just bad luck. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I don't put really too much thought process into that. I just keep moving forward.
How is your spine, Russell?
It's not good.
It's interesting because your spine looks straight as shit, which you would think would be like thank God, like that's would be the most important thing. I mean, you look like you fell out of Baywatch.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just I've gotten some more news over the last couple of months. Uh, I'm just deteriorating pretty bad from my chest down.
Is that part of the condition, whatever your condition is you're diagnosed with, or is it the training? What's going on?
It's all of that. So from the time of birth, it's pretty much my whole spine and legs, and then as I've gone on and gone to more doctors, it's turned into all kinds of other things. I got complex regional pain syndrome. I got all kinds of stuff with my back. They think maybe right now they're doing more testing, and they want to go down the road of maybe thinking that some of this is like an autoimmune issue or something like that.
How old are
But like
you?
I said, I'm 39.
30, okay. So you had your first kid when you were 19?
So then my no, so my oldest boy, my wife's a couple of years older than I am. Quincy's from her first marriage, and then I've raised that boy since he was 6. We're best friends.
Damn, dude. What a cool life. And then this youngest boy, what's his name?
His name's Braxton, and he's my biological son, so he's a little bit of a shithead.
Well, it seems like you love him to death, from your
Yes,
Instagram,
sir, for sure.
and he must be so proud of his dad.
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, it would be cool to have a dad like you. Hey, you said that you were born with 2 club feet, but now you're missing a foot, right? You're missing a whole calf?
Yes, sir. So it was like 9 years ago that we decided that we should amputate both of my legs. We got through the first one, and that hasn't really gone the best. Uh, I can't really wear a prosthetic the way that I would like to because of my issues, and my limb is so bony, and then my skin breaks down real bad. I have a tumor in my nub. So once I kind of went down that road, I wasn't real interested anymore in trying to amputate the other one. I use a wheelchair a bunch to get around, and the main reason why I do that is just so I'm not dead in the water. Like when my legs can't get me around, or when I can't do the things that I want to, I use a wheelchair.
Oh, yeah, I saw a Instagram clip where you were, pushing blood out of the, tumor. What
Yeah,
caused the tumor? Why is there a
yes,
tumor
sir.
from the amputation? Is that a botched surgery or
It's called a neuroma, and it's like a collection of like nerves or whatnot. So then it just balled up in the bottom of my nub. You can get it removed, but there's nothing that says that it won't grow back in the spot where so they would shorten it, they would cut that spot out and raise it up, but there's nothing that says that it won't grow back there. And I'm kind of done with all of that, sir. I kind of changed a lot of things over the last couple of years. It was around 3 years ago. That is when I started my CrossFit journey. I changed my diet because the prior 3 years were the worst 3 years of my life. I never really took like pain medication for none of my surgeries. And then it was around my 28th surgery, I started taking pain medication. And then I just started letting those doctors give me whatever they wanted to. And for the first year, it worked out okay and everything was good. But the last 2 years, like those last 2 years in coronavirus or whatnot, is when I hit like the worst part of my life. I got real suicidal. Everything was pretty bad. And then it was 3 years ago, I woke up one day and I quit 8 medications cold turkey. And I just got back on track to doing things the old school way that I was raised and that I used to. So then at that point, 3 years ago, when I was still dealing with doctors, I needed like 5 more surgeries, and I just stopped all of that. So that first year trying to get my life back, I would wear my prosthetic leg no matter what, and I would open it up and I would get all these sores, and I would just lance them and keep it going because I was trying to build back my mental game. And I felt like that was important.
I want to go back to the first time. So if that was, did you say that was 6 years ago that they started putting you on pain meds, or 3 years ago?
Yes, sir. So it was about 6, 8 years ago is whenever I found it was around my 28th surgery that I first started to take medications. For all my other surgeries, I never took any type of medication.
And what was the first medication they ever gave you?
It was a nerve medication. It was a muscle relaxer. And then when they started me out on pain meds, they started me out on 150 milligrams of oxycodone a day.
Yeah, I mean, God, that's crazy. That's not even like sustainable. That's wild. That's
Yeah, I
wild that they
didn't.
do that.
It's crazy, sir. So then, I've started a charity for all these types of reasons. Uh, I think people should focus in on, charities in America and why people even have these things, and why it should be like maybe a red flag to show that the medical system doesn't work. We're about to have this CrossFit games for the adaptive athletes. There's a lot of disabled folks and these sort of things. But I just started going down a different road. I try to start up this charity to give other folks real options, because I don't feel like, through the medical system right now, that they're really doing anything to help anybody like me.
Hey, that Caleb just pulled up that thing on Google, and it said the dose was on the high end was 15 milligrams every 4 to 6 hours. So even if you were on the highest dose,
Yeah, I
that
was
would be 90 milligrams a day. 20 if you took it every 4 hours at 15 milligrams, and you're saying they started you off on 150.
yes, sir.
Wow, that's amazing. Hey, why then? Why then start you on? Why did they wait so long? Why didn't they just start giving you medication when you were a kid?
I mean, they try to push medication on me my whole life. I just never was interested in it. I never wanted it. I heard stories. I didn't want to take a chance. None of those other sort of things. So then, for the majority of my surgeries, I would maybe take, pain meds for a day or two, and then I'd flush them down the toilet, and I'd just be good. I racked up like 15 surgeries in like 10 years. I quit my job. Like my whole life just changed, and I was worn down. So then they were trying to push them on me, and it was around that 28th surgery that I was like, all right, I'll do this. You know what I mean? I'll listen to y'all. They were telling me that my quality of life would get better. So then I just started listening. They started putting me on 3 or 4 different types of medications, muscle relaxer, pain, nerve, and I think like a Valium or something like that. Like the combination of them aren't there. It's as bad as it can get. So then I started out like that, and then for the first year I took those medication, I was kind of like hard on myself. I thought that maybe my opinion of those medications, because the first year on them, my life did get a little bit better, and things started, moving in a little bit better spot. It's just not a long-term thing, and I really have never met anybody that is in pain, that takes pain pills, that hasn't had an issue or those sort of things. So then when I was on that type of medication, it just started to get worse. Everything just started getting worse. So then they started adding more medication, my sleeping, my mental game, just all those other sort of things. And then at one point, I was just as suicidal as you can get. I wasn't happy about anything. Uh, and then the craziest part about all this as well is whenever I made that decision that I didn't want to do this no more, I didn't want to take medication, and I wanted to try more natural things and stuff like that. The doctor that was writing me all those prescriptions didn't even have a route for me. So that was like another
Like
lesson
an
that I
exit
learned in
strategy?
life that,
He didn't have an exit strategy for you to get off the
like,
meds?
yeah, so that they, no, sir. So then when it comes to like rehab or detox facilities in America, like those are usually made for folks that have abused things. Like there's not facilities like that for the disabled. If somebody that was disabled wanted to start taking medication, and then somewhere down their road they didn't want to take that, there's really not nothing set up for us to go through that process in the right way.
Hey, were you on any psychiatric meds?
Yes, sir. They started loading me up on those too the last year.
Do you remember the names of them?
Uh, Not off the top of my head. I'm not real smart, sir, and I don't read real well. So,
Me
or
neither.
pronounce things good.
Me neither. Me neither. I don't read so good. Sometimes I get exposed on this show. I try to read something fancy and I get exposed on the show. Um, uh,
Yeah,
what a wild
I
journey.
wouldn't even try that.
No
Yes,
public
sir.
reading, no public reading for
Nah,
you.
man. I can shoot from the hip, and that's about it.
I want to go back to when you're a kid. So you're born and you already have the club feet, and you have what did you call it? Bilateral club feet.
Yes, sir.
And do you go into the public school system and just do they just try to keep you like a regular kid?
Yes, sir. So, first starting out, they try to put me in martial arts when I was like 4. There wasn't much like therapy for those sort of things. They thought that that would be good, so I started out doing that. I grew up in the state of Texas, in Hamilton, Texas. Uh, I played a bunch of sports there. I played football, basketball, baseball, powerlifting.
Wow.
I did a little track in high school.
That's fascinating. So your parents, instead of like keeping you, protecting you from that stuff, they just put you in the deep end. They're like, nope, kid, you're gonna do this. Good on them. What good
I
parents.
mean, I pushed more. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a little wild, sir, and I'm a go-getter.
yeah,
My mom tried to get me to quit sports every year.
yeah. You got a. If I were to
Yeah,
judge you, you have a
because I
very.
would always get banged up. I was always,
Yeah, if I were to judge you just by your looks, you have that. You got a little Conor McGregor in you. You got the square jaw, and you got the fucking blockhead, and you look like maybe you have an extra X chromosome. You look like you're a lot of man to deal with.
well, I
Like,
appreciate that, sir. Thank
yeah,
you.
you look like you got a little bull rider in you. Can you
Yeah,
hear
I've
me
done a
okay?
little bit of that.
You have done a little bit of that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I could see it. Okay,
Yeah, but
and
I mean, you grow up from where I'm from. Yeah,
let me
you're
ask.
always jumping on the back of something.
Yeah. Did you ever ride motorcycles?
I've ridden some of those. Like that was always hard. Like my feet have always been fused. There was really no range of motion in my feet, so that was always kind of hard. But yeah, I've ridden motorcycles when I was younger.
When you were doing these sports as a kid, Russell, say your last name for me.
It's Allmandinger.
Allmandinger. Yeah, that's a great name. Russell Allmandinger. Russell, when you were a kid, and you were playing these sports, did they uh Did they baby you at all? Were they like, "Oh, that go easy on him," or any of that stuff, like, in football or baseball or
No, sir.
so you'd hit the
No,
ball
sir.
and you'd run
Football
to
was
first?
my main sport. Yeah, I would do all that. Yes, sir. I mean, not good. I mean, I can remember, like by the time I get to a freshman in high school and you get to finally watch film, on yourself. Up to that point in my life, I thought I ran like Deion Sanders. And then the first day I see film of me running, I'm like, time out, bro. Like, I got to quit. Like, I can't even believe that you guys are letting me out on the field with y'all. Like, this isn't pretty. This is embarrassing. Yeah.
Oh, man. And your friends, everyone was cool? Everyone accepted you? It was just that's just the way you are? Like, you couldn't hide it, right? Anytime you walked, someone could see, like, "Hey, something's up with this dude."
Yes, sir. I walked. Yes, sir. And then, over the last like 8 years, I've developed balance and brain things and vertigo. So yeah, I look drunk all the time when I'm walking, sir.
And then so finally, at some point, I think I forget what age you were, but you were in your 20s, and that's when they say, "Hey, you should get on, some medication to deal with the pain," and you started this 3-year journey of just more and more medication. Was it always more? Like, each time you went to the doctor for 3 years, it was just escalating the
It was
meds?
it was always adding something else. Like for instance, like I don't sleep good in general. Never have. And during that period, they added a sleep medication, and I could tell instantly that that was making me like a little bit more suicidal. But in the same breath, I hadn't slept in so long, and I finally started getting a little bit of rest. So it's yeah, yes, sir. So then the whole medication, they just kept on trying to add more. It was never, uh, they never ask you questions about what you're really doing in your life, what your diet's like, any of those other sort of things. It's if you have a problem on this medication, there's another medication that we can give you.
Hey, when you said, you were getting more suicidal, what does that mean to be, suicidal? Like, what does that mean?
Uh, It Yes, sir. So then, I mean, I've had issues. I've had some of these thoughts my whole entire life, which would make sense, I think, for a person like me to have thoughts like that. They never were an issue, or they never became realistic, or things that I ever really thought that I was going to act on past that. But once I got on those medications, and my whole life changed. I went from having a good job and being able to do a little bit more, with my kids and all these other sort of things. And in like that 10-year span, I had like 15 surgeries racked up, and everything just changed drastically. So, uh, back to your question again, sir. What did you ask?
What does that mean when if you're suicidal? Like, what were the like, what does that look
Yes, sir.
like?
So the suicide. Yes, sir. So then at that point, it just got to a point to where I was just suffering so bad from pain, and then the mental game. And then I was spinning my wheels. I would try hard every day to try to get out of this boat, and it seemed like I would take steps back. So then it just got a point to me to where I felt like I was a burden, and I didn't feel that way. I was in a bad situation. I was in a bad spot. I wasn't doing anything good for myself, for my wife, or my kids. And then that turned, and I didn't think that I could get better. I thought that at that point, when I finally started taking medication, that I was already hitting the worst spots of my life. So then it was never my goal when I started to take medication to take it long term. But then as I'm starting to get into those bad years, it turned into, I didn't think it was realistic for me to even try to quit medication. I thought that that was going to be the thing that could send me over the edge. So when I'm suicidal, you just, you feel as bad. Nothing good is anything. All you can think about is ending things. And you really don't want to do those things. So it's like it gets you a little bit more sad, more stuck in your brain that you're, thinking this way, and that these things are sounding like a good ideal. So then where my turning point was after about a year, 2 years of living that way, and I was already, to the point of wanting to kill myself, and maybe even thinking of some ways of getting the job done. I finally just said, all right, well, we need to start over. We need to quit all these meds. We need to get all this out of our system. If we're already talking about dying, then we need to try this, and we need to go down that road. So then I just woke up one day. I told my wife that I was going to quit these medications cold turkey, that I was done with them. That's when I phoned my doctor, and I started asking him for solutions for these problems. He told me he didn't have a solution. He asked me how I was going to go about it. I said, I'm just going to quit these things cold turkey. He wasn't too fond of that. He thought, bad things could happen, but in the same breath, he was okay with me doing it, and he wanted to write me more Xanax and Zomas for me to detox those other medications, and that wasn't the boat that I wanted to be in. So I just woke up one day and I quit them all cold turkey. I never cheated one time since then. I'm not interested in ever taking meds again. And my whole goal now is just trying to help out other folks, not end up in some of these same boats.
It's interesting. You said something that I haven't heard before, but that resonates with me. You felt like a There's two things. You felt like a burden, and then you also felt like there was no way out. Like, hey, I'm on all these meds, I can't get off, and I'm a burden on other people. And um, I don't think people realize. I think that's why we have so many unhappy people in in the world. They don't realize it. They think they want to be helped and taken care of by someone, but they don't realize the cost of that. That as human beings, we really, our only value here is what we contribute to other men. And you didn't feel like you were contributing anything. You were actually felt like you were a burden. So, like, if there's a baseline middle where you're not a burden, let's say you're just sitting perfectly still under a tree, right? You're at baseline. But if someone has to wipe your ass or get you meds or bring you food or pay for you, now you've slipped the other way. And I've seen a handful of women who marry rich men who lose their value in life. They lose what their purpose is, and they don't have goals or direction anymore, and they just fucking go crazy. And they think their life is going to be great
Yes, sir.
because they got rich, but they just fucking lose their shit. And God, you just fucking nailed it. When you are, that's, I wish more and more people could realize that taking from other people, you have to sacrifice a piece of your sanity for that. Um, when you start slipping in that fucking wrong, in that wrong direction. Let me ask you this: when you had Braxton, where were you on this journey? Braxton's your youngest boy, 6-year-old boy. Where were you in the journey?
Yes, sir. I was in the start of the worst spot of that. So me and my wife had some issues having kids.
Hmm.
And then when Braxton finally popped up, we were kind of in the back end of, okay, we don't think God, wants us to have kids or whatever. We finally get pregnant with Braxton. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff surgery wise. I'm starting to get bad on the medications to where they're affecting me different, and all these other sort of things. And then my wife ended up in the hospital. Braxton was born premature. That was one of the turning points in my life that started making things a little bit more rough. At that point, I couldn't even wear a prosthetic leg. I didn't have a wheelchair that was a lightweight wheelchair. My wife was in the hospital and all this. So then I was just running myself ragged, trying to make sure I'm getting her fresh juice that I'm making her, and flowers and good food and all these other sort of things. Yes, sir. That's Brax. So then when he's first born, I'm going through it pretty rough. And to be honest with you, for about the first year of his life, I spent the majority of the time with him. And then over the next 2 years of his life is whenever I got real bad. And I would try to distance myself sometimes from him or my wife because I didn't want him to get attached to me too much because I didn't think I was going to be around. But all of that has changed. That's my wife. Uh, all of that has changed, and everything's is really, really good right now.
Hey, so you're still with her? She traveled that journey with you?
Oh, yeah, I don't know why, but she did. Yes, sir.
Wow, that's amazing, dude. She
She's
must
an
be
awesome woman.
so proud of you.
Yes, sir. I'm just thankful for her. Like, uh, when I am a burden, and if I never had the chance, or if I didn't have the capabilities to change, then no, that woman didn't deserve all that. But yes, yes, sir. She stuck with me. She stayed strong. She's awesome. She's as loyal as they come. She's a great, great person.
Um, do you ever, you must also be pretty happy that you turned it around when, when he was so young, right? I mean, eh, because there would be some real mounting guilt if you're a drug addict, and I use that term, I mean, I guess that's what you were, right? In your own sense, pharmaceutical drug addict. There would be some real guilt if you were a drug addict through your kid's raising period. What a fucking that would be hard. That would be a really hard one to get over.
Yeah, that wouldn't be some. So then, uh, back to being a burden. I think these are some things that people have lost sight of. I think a lot of things that we should be trying to teach people, but I think that's your first responsibility as a human being is don't be a burden on others.
Yeah.
So then I would have never, if I wasn't capable of changing, then I would have 100% eliminated myself from the situation. I would not bring down my wife or, I think that's another thing if that people lose sight of. If you're not one of these people that can change and you ain't got the power, well, maybe you need to go suffer somewhere else by yourself.
Right.
uh, because it just wasn't good. So then if I could never make that change, I would have distanced myself from my son and my wife.
During these 3 years when you're on all the hospital meds, were you working out at all? Were you doing anything physical?
I would try, uh, but no, sir. It was, and I just started doing CrossFit in the last like 2.5, 3 years. So prior to that, I'm going to like an EOS or a Golds and just trying to hit bicep curls and things like that.
And, that day that you woke up and you decided you get off the meds, can you tell me what that next month was like when you got off the meds? Was that crazy? Were you just, like, huddled in bed shivering
Yes,
and just
sir.
like yeah?
Yes, it was the worst worst thing that I've ever gone through. Uh, it doesn't seem realistic, like, when I look back on it and knowing how I felt and being on the other side, it seems like a movie. It seems like, something that can't even really happen in real life. But, yeah, that was a real hard period for me. So I just wake up one day, I tell my wife, "I'm gonna quit these things cold turkey." I try to contact my doctor to figure a way to do it in a better way or the right way. He was trying to get me to taper. It was his only option. I was telling him I can't do it that way. I'm a rip the band-aid off type of guy.
Mhm.
Plus, I'm in a bad spot. I don't want to draw things out. So I just detoxed at my house. It just wasn't like a month. It was like a couple months. And to be honest with you, sir, from things that I've researched, what that does to your brain and how it changes it chemically, that it could take like up to like a year or 2 years to start getting your like frontal lobe back to where you were. So then I felt a lot of those sort of things for a while. Uh, but yes, sir.
And, Russell, w those are like you're laying in bed and you're, like, twitching and shit, right? Like, your body's moving and twitching, and it's crazy, right? Sweats coming and going, all that shit.
Yeah, so I have really bad yeah, so I have really bad nub spasms and my lower half spasms pretty good. And in those moments, it's like on a level to where it's like it's crazy. It feels like whiplash. Uh, but yeah, I was spasming on top of spasming. and things were pretty bad. Yes, sir. Yeah,
Hey, so
that's
you
that
didn't have this
little
spasm that we're
nub
showing on
dancing.
yeah, so this you never had that before you had your leg amputated? Spasms like that?
No, I've always had spasms in my lower half.
Okay. Does that hurt right there? Is that like electrical storm?
Yeah, when it starts going, that little nerve tumor in there, it's like whiplash. And so it can hurt, but I mean, there ain't nothing you're gonna do about it. So you just get tough.
Hey, is that different than like sometimes I'll get that like one of my pecs will it doesn't hurt at all, but one of my pecs will just start flexing on and off like as fast as it can, for I don't know, 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Is that similar
Yeah,
to that or no different?
yeah, it's kind of like that. I mean, yeah, in my lower half, it's like anytime I'm trying to extend or get straight or uh and then especially if it's workouts make it worse if I rev up my nervous system, then it starts to go a little worse.
So you get so in that so you get off it's like a 2 or 3 months of just like fucking biting down, gritting down, and getting through it. When did you find CrossFit? How did that pop into your world?
So then I would follow all kinds of like disabled folks on my Instagram, and then I would always see that their gym setting, the background and the layout was just different from the gyms that I was going to. And I was in that boat of like I'm trying to get everything back in my life. I'm trying to get back the years that I made mistakes, and I'm just trying to rebuild. So I would watch those videos, and I would try to find those gyms. I learned that they were called CrossFit gyms. Uh, and I would see other folks in there, some folks way more messed up than me, so there was no excuse that you can't do it or you can't go. At that time, I'm living in Boulder City, Nevada, right outside of Nevada, Las Vegas. Uh, and I started going to a local gym there called Best Damn CrossFit. And I just went there to change my gym environment. And then it was like 2 months into working out there, folks started bringing up the open. Hey, are you going to do the open? I didn't even know what it was or anything like that. They were talking about adaptive categories. So then I tried it my first year. I think I finished like 31st in the world. Uh, and then from that point on, I just started getting more out of it, the community, all of that. I was living in a fifth wheel, so I was like trying to chase doctors a little bit. So I would come up here to Colorado, and then I got hooked into the gym here in Durango, Colorado, called Catacombs. And then it was that environment that is really taking me to this next level. I have a coach there named Kelsey McDonald. She helps run this charity with me. She's been a big part in my life, and changing it and getting it back on track and reaching these levels in this fitness world and just all of it. So then once I met that community, I really liked Colorado, and I just stayed there. Yes, sir. That's her.
Oh, I like her hair. Look at that.
She's a badass, sir.
Yeah, she looks like a badass. She looks like a fucking one healthy human being. Hey, I wanna go back to, you're living in the fifth wheel, you're with your wife and your kid, and, has your son at that point, gone into the, is he a Marine, you said?
Yes, sir.
Has he gone into the
Yeah,
Marines at
part
that
of
point?
our decision. Yes, sir. Yeah, he's in the Marines at that point.
Okay, so he's not around when you get off the
Yeah,
meds.
no, he's not around.
So when he comes home that
Yes,
first time,
sir.
he must have been tripping. He must have been like, "Holy shit, dad, you did it."
Yeah, I mean, he knows what type of guy I am. I'm really hardcore, sir, and I expect certain things, and these sort of things. So if there was the craziest part was just me in those bad years. So then that was kind of new for everybody. Nobody had ever seen that side of me. I'd never seen that side of myself. So like when he sees me off of the meds or when I'm getting back to normal, everybody was like used to that side of me of just being gun ho and hardcore and all of that. But yeah,
and they
there
were
was
probably
when I was taking those meds.
Go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
What's that, sir?
You go ahead, sorry, sorry. We have a
When
bad
I was
connection, so
taking,
I need to stop interrupting you, sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. But when I went to his first graduation from San Diego boot camp, and I went on base to go watch him do that, that was about 2 or 3 months before I quit. That was a big turning point for me that day. I felt this. That was the day I was as bad as you can get, sir.
God, look how
So it was
and
that
you're
day
thick
that I
there,
could
look how
barely
thick.
even get through.
Yeah, you look thick there. Now
Yes,
you look
sir.
more like Brad Pitt, you look thick there.
Yeah, I've always weighed around 130 pounds. And then I got up to around 189 pounds, which
Wow.
for me, I've never weighed like that. It was crazy.
It must feel so good to have
But on
shed that
that
all that
day,
weight.
yes, sir. And it went quick because I got on that animal based diet where you're just eating all this meat and fruit.
Was that hard for you? Was that hard for you of switching your diet? The diet part, was that hard?
No, sir. I've always no. So then that when I started making all these changes, I started going to CrossFit. I quit all these meds. I'm telling myself and I'm talking to myself a little bit different at that time, and I'm gonna put some things to bed that maybe were problems in my life. Like I'd always tried in the fitness world, and I'd always eat these different diets. And the biggest reason of why I go down all those roads or whatnot is because I have problems. I have disabilities, and I'm suffering, and feel like I'm tortured all the time. So I stopped trying to dictate things or have an opinion or be biased towards how I was feeling. I was just trying to align myself with things that were good for humans and all this other sort of stuff. So then once I got on that diet was the thing that has changed and made me feel better the most. And then it made me learn a lot more about diet in general and how I got the look that you're saying that I look right now. Like I never looked like that on all these other diets. I can never achieve that look or anything like that. And then all I did on this one was just eat the diet, work out, and it's been the most simplest thing that I've ever done.
What, you're just basically on a steak and apples diet, just to simplify it?
I eat steak and fruit, raw dairy, raw honey, raw maple syrup.
Dang, dude, what
But yeah, I
craziness
eat
do you
steak
have?
like
You do steak every day?
yeah, pretty much.
Uh, um,
Yeah, I like steak.
um, so when you go into this gym, what did you call it? Badass CrossFit? Is that what it was? Kick-ass CrossFit? What was the
Oh, it's
first
called
CrossFit
Best
gym?
Damn CrossFit.
Best Damn CrossFit. What did they say when you
Best
walked in?
Damn CrossFit.
Best Damn CrossFit. What did
Uh,
how was the reception there when you walked in? Tell me about your first day there.
it was all good. First day off the top of my head, I mean, everybody was nice. Everybody was good. Yes, sir. I started out there. Uh, there was one connection that I made at that gym that has turned into a brother of mine. He's been a big success to me getting better. There's a guy that was working out there named Alan Haynes, and he just started rallying behind me, started pushing me, all those other good kind of things. So then I was working out there, and then I come up to Durango. That's where I meet Kelsey. I go back to Las Vegas for some doctors for like 6 months before I finally make that move to Durango. Durango permanently. And when I went back that last time around, I got hooked up with a gym called CrossFit Site. Luke Stoker, that gym right there was another one that just played a huge role and to get me where I'm at today, sir.
Hey, there's this Taoist saying, it says, argue your limitations and they're yours. Argue your limitations and they're yours. Meaning if you argue your
What is it?
limitation, it's called argue your limitations and they're yours. Meaning if you say stuff that you can't do, then you won't be able
Yes,
to do
sir.
it. Yeah, argue your limitations and they're yours. It's kind of like, uh,
100%.
my way of thinking about it in the Christian doctrine is God gives you everything you want. So if you want to play weak, he'll make you weak. He's there to serve you. And so if you say you
Yes,
can't do
sir.
stuff, God will make sure you can't do stuff. He's there to serve and fulfill your dreams and wishes. You want to play the
Yes, sir.
victim, he'll fucking make you the world's best victim. Did
And that's
anyone
like part of my message too with the charity. It's like the, go ahead, sir.
just real quick, one more thing. And that's why I have a huge problem with people who help other people argue their limitations. You know what I mean? So your doctor wanted to argue your limitations for you. And I have a real problem with that. I think it's like the most vile human characteristic you can say to someone, like, "Hey, you're a woman, and so people look down on you." Well, if that's what you think, then people are going to look down on you because you're a woman. You're a black man, and people say that people are going to look down on you because you're black. You want that? God will give that to you. He'll surround you with people who look down on you. You're a handicapped dude who fucking got a busted leg, and you feel sorry for yourself. God's going to give you other people who are going to feel sorry for you. And for some reason, I don't know what the magic is. I don't know, think that there's any science in it. I don't know if Greg would appreciate this or not, but I think that's how the world fucking works.
Yeah, for sure. It's like this competition that we have coming up this month. It's like for all those people were told, don't do none of that. You can't, don't do it. All those other sort of things. And with, the message that I'm trying to get out with the House of Champions or whatnot, I mean, the real only disability that you have is if you have mental, stuff going on. That's where, you can't do things for yourself, but anybody else and everybody else, we can get all the jobs done and we can do all the things. It just looks different. It might take longer. All those other sort of things. And that's always been, and I dumb it down. I think if you can wake up in the morning and use the bathroom successfully, then
Yeah.
you can do a lot of different things in the world. You know what I mean?
Right, right. I fucking love that. Yeah, if you can go to the bathroom, pull your own dick out, take a shit, wipe your own ass, what a great start. Yeah, that's true. You know, Greg talks about that all the time.
Yes,
The
sir. Exactly. If you do that
Glassman says the
successfully,
second you can't wipe your own ass, that's when you go to the nursing home. That's it. He's like, you got to be able to preserve that ability to take a shit and wipe your own ass. You have to at all costs.
yes, sir. So like I'm all of those types of things, all the things that comes with living this lifestyle, and even know that I'm not on medications now or any of those other sort of things. I try not to be a burden on my wife or friends and family. You just try to go down that road and not let those people get sucked in.
And just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with asking people for help. The biggest burden that we put on other people is also our emotion, our moods, right? Like, fuck, it's horrible when your wife is sad, right? And it's horrible when your
Yeah.
kids are sad or crying. Yeah. Hey, I want to go back to that first gym a little bit more. So sorry, let me go back to this other part. Did you say that? Did you just squeeze in there that basically, if you go to the adaptive games that are going to happen in San Antonio from September 19th to the 22nd, the world's fittest adaptive athletes will fucking descend on San Antonio. You guys will compete, crown the fittest human beings in the world. Were you suggesting that every person in that room who's a competitor has had someone in their life basically say, "Hey, you can't do that"?
Oh, for sure. I would imagine so. I mean,
Yeah.
when you think of the standards that the medical system tells you, or what you can't do, I would imagine almost everybody in that room that day was told somewhere that they weren't going to be doing the things that they're going to be doing that weekend.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that we're not going to get through that week and you know the next week's going to be really hard and life, you know, all those other sort of things.
Right.
But when you have these types of disabilities and stuff like that, it gives you just a sense of like you're living life again, and you're doing things that are fun and stuff like that.
You
When
you
you
might
kind of live on that,
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. When you live on that what?
when you kind of live like on that extreme of pain or suffering or those sort of things, you know, you got to kind of up the ante and other things in life to make you feel good, make you feel normal, you know, make your mental space real well. Like, you know, when I get through those workouts, you know, and I'm doing those workouts, I feel like I'm dying. I feel like what are we doing here? You know what I mean? It's the fact of afterwards. It's everything that it gives me in my brain afterwards, you know.
I used to play a lot of frisbee, like 6 hours a day, every day for like 5 years, and I remember at one point it clicked. Even the passes that you know you can't catch, someone throws a pass and you're running a pattern and you go to catch it, if you don't try your hardest, you will never make a great catch. Because all the great catches were the catches that no one thought you could make, including yourself, but you gave it 100%, and fucking every fourth or fifth catch, you fucking get it. You run into cars and bushes and other people and weird shit happens. But if you don't try things that are impossible, that your brain, then you're never going to do anything great. That's like right. If Elon doesn't want to go to Mars, then it might sound crazy to a bunch of us, but he's got to have the dream, right? Got to try the impossible.
Yep.
So you go to that gym and
Yes,
they're
sir.
cool to you. Did they know how to work with you? Did they were there people there at that I keep wanting to call
Uh,
at Best Damn CrossFit? Were they or were there people who were scared? Were they like, "Oh shit, I don't know how I'm gonna work with this guy?" Or were there just trainers there were like, "Give him to me. I fucking got this dude."
no, yeah, it seems like every place that I've gone, that's like the CrossFit vibe. Like nobody's real shy about those sort of things. Everybody's gun ho. Everybody wants to jump in. Uh, out of all the gyms that I've gone to, like I'll never go to any other type of gym again for the rest of my life. Like CrossFit is a part of my life and lifestyle now. The community, the people, like you know, for the competitions I've gone to, just like everybody seems like really, really good people, sir.
And there's no pampering. They'll just walk right up to you and be like, "Hey, Russell, we're doing box step ups today. What do you need for me to scale this?" Like it's just straight up. Or what do you need so that you can do it? How do you like if they don't know, your coach will just ask you, or you walk in the gym, "Hey, how do you want to do this?" Or there's something, there's a back squats today. What is there anything we need to do for you? Like they don't beat around the bush. It's just straight up.
Yeah, so then starting out with them, I was their first adaptive athlete that they ever had. So that all of that was kind of new, uh, trying to figure out because I compete in the neuromuscular category. I don't compete in an amputee category. So then we were figuring out all those things. So that was all new to them. It was when I get to Durango and I meet Kelsey, that she was a high level competitor. She does all that as well. And then she knew how to start changing these things for me. And because starting out, I was just trying to do able body workouts, and I was just trying to lower the weight, or I try to modify it the best that I could. But it wasn't until I met Kelsey to where that world of like adaptive CrossFit started getting more clear of how I go about that and what my workouts are and what my weights are and all that.
Equip products. Thank you guys. I always appreciate your support. These guys are pretty cool. This is the first time these guys have popped on my radar. Was just like
They're awesome.
a couple months ago. So you know who they are too. Does everyone know who they are in the adaptive divisions?
Yes,
They're like
sir.
they're like the staple.
Yeah,
They're like the rogue of the
they play.
adaptive gear.
Yes, sir. They play a huge role. They're always at these events. They're always gun ho to try to make something work. Like if you were out on the competition floor and you didn't have something, or I've always watched those folks just try to make things happen with whatever they got so those people can compete.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you met the owner?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it a husband and
It's
wife?
yes, sir. Mark and I believe Diane. My brain sometimes with names isn't the best.
I'm sorry, what's your name? That's a joke.
I believe his name's Mark.
No,
Oh,
I asked you what your
my name is Bob, sir.
sorry, Bob. Bob Peanut Dinger. Um, uh,
Yeah,
it,
Peanut Dinger.
Hey, in the heart of America, nestled near St. Louis, Missouri, Equip products emerged from a profound commitment to inclusivity and empowerment in fitness. God, I hate that word, inclusivity. Triggered. Founded by Mark and Dana Harris, our journey began at the CrossFit Games in 2016, sparked by a conversation with adaptive athletes. This moment ignited a mission that has been since revolutionized adaptive fitness. Are these guys, do the owners have any missing limbs or anything?
No,
No.
I don't know much about them. I've met them a couple times, but from everything I can tell, I think that they're just normal, good people that care, and just jumped in and started, I guess, filling a hole that needed to be filled, sir.
Hey, why are you in neurological and not leg missing?
It's just the combination of all my stuff is that's the category they put me in. I couldn't really compete with those guys and the uh with the legs like me and Kevin is have even talked about maybe competing from my wheelchair and after this competition season and some of the rough stuff that I've had to go through and how some of my stuff is getting worse. I'm maybe thinking about that now.
I saw you squat. I saw you squatting. I think. Are you still squatting? I think I saw you squatting in a video. Do you still do
Yes,
weighted
sir. I
squat?
can do those. Yes, sir. So like in the last competition to get you to the games this year, you had to max out a squat, and that's the area where it's really hard for me.
Like neurologically, just all the shit's not because of the
My
club
whole
foot,
entire life, I could always bench.
because of the neurological issues from birth. You're
It's
just
just the
saying that.
whole combination. Yeah.
Interesting. Hey, I didn't even know that. Shows how well I did my research. I didn't even know that. I just assumed I saw the limb missing, and I just assumed you were in the one leg dude category.
Yes, sir. You
Okay.
going to Texas?
God, you know what's crazy is a friend of mine who works for CrossFit said he wants to go, and he asked me last night if I would go with him there. And up until that point, like I hate leaving my home, dude. I hate leaving my kids. But
Yes.
this friend invited me to go, and now I'm like, and I really enjoy hanging out with this dude, so maybe I will go. I don't know.
Yes, sir. We could use all the help. Like I'm still trying to figure out all of these sort of things, like in the CrossFit. Like I don't know, the owners across. I don't know these folks' names. I don't know who's operating or running what. But it'd be nice to see some of the stuff in the adaptive world get a little bit better. And I don't know exactly what that means, but I just feel like that some of the top dogs in CrossFit in general are in that space.
I really
What is your
and
thought process of all this?
I mean, I think from your perspective, it doesn't even matter. Like, I think you should just train and just lean on Kevin Ogar 100% for everything. You know what I mean? Like y- that that you guys have a fucking fearless leader in him. That's a bad dude, and he's been around forever. Kevin Ogar, the guy who runs the adaptive games, the he's the shit. And
Yes,
and
sir.
his wife's amazing too. I mean, their commitment is second to none. And you got a bunch of cool characters in in the who are competing this year that I've got to know. For me, and I'm not really a huge sports fan, but for me, like, I'm just into people. So, like, I like stories. So I think the more stories that get out about those people, you know what I mean? Like, um, uh, I think the cooler it is. Like, there's like the UFC fighter who got out of jail, you know what I mean, and turned his life around is more interesting to me than the guy who's won every single fight, or the guy with autism that's winning in the UFC. That's interesting to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm more interested in the stories. I mean, that's why Colton Mertens is so fucking cool, right? He sells wiener dogs. He works on a pig farm. He fucking learned how to squat on a dirt floor. You know what I mean? Those are the James Sprague, the current champ. He was a fucking kids champ. He's got a cool dad. They found God together. Now he's a God freak. I just love all that. I just like the stories. So, you know what I mean? That's why Froning was such a cool champ, right? He had fucking
Yes, sir. Yeah, for sure.
crazy hardship as a kid. Two of his best friends and cousins died when he was a kid, like, in a 3-year period. And that gave him so much depth and character and, focus. And so, like, when I hear stories like yours, like, I think you have a really profound story that's really important for the whole world to hear because, the biggest outside of food, the biggest problem we have in the United States right now is pharmaceutical drug use. It's diet and pharmaceutical drug use, and they're fucking intertwined like this. I think that's why so many people think the way they do. I think like every problem, from your fucking sexual shit to your dysmorphia to everything, can be tied back. All the crazy shit coming out of certain political parties right now, I think it can all be tied back to diet. And going back to what you said,
I agree.
those people are crazy because they know that they're a burden on society. Those people are crazy because they are a burden on society. And I mean, you summed it up right there when you said that. I was like, wow, that's like everything to me. So, um, I don't know. I don't think you need to worry
Yeah,
about what's
it's
going on in the big picture in CrossFit. I don't think whatever happens to CrossFit, I don't think it affects the CrossFit games or the I don't think it affects the adaptive division or the masters or the teens at all. I think you guys are on crazy solid footing, you know? Even if CrossFit were to go away today, the gyms wouldn't go away.
all right.
That
Yeah,
adaptive community wouldn't go away. I mean, you guys are like, now you guys have deep roots, deep roots.
yes, sir.
Quit Products, you will find all the stories you can get, and we would love to have you there. Well, thank you. I know Lisa and Kevin have been so good to me. I think I can't remember if I got your name, Russell, from Lisa Gall
Yeah, Kevin.
or Jedediah. One of them gave me your name. I can't remember, but that's how I found you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Kevin and Shannon, I enjoy them a lot. I think that they're doing a great job. I appreciate all the things that they're doing as well. Uh, and I'm pretty fired up for, I guess, this competition coming up to see just what it would be like, the landscape of it, and all those sort of things.
What's the highest you finished in a comp?
I finished in Wadapalooza last year second, and I finished in Will Wad second last year.
Is it the same dude who keeps beating you?
No, there's a new guy this year that's beating me.
Fuck that guy. What's his name? Let's see this guy. What's his
I
name?
believe I don't Dalton's, I think his last name is Dalton. Jeremy Dalton, maybe.
Let me see this Jeremy Dalton character.
But yeah, the group of guys that I competed against, they're pretty cool, man.
They are.
Yeah, so I met a couple of the guys last year for the first time. Daniel and Jeff, those guys are pretty cool, man. So then
Hey,
in my category, it's like a collection.
you go ahead. You go ahead. Go
It's
ahead. It's
like
a
a
collection of what?
collection of like different disabilities. of like different disabilities. There's it's like nobody in my category has like the same set of disabilities.
Hey, anyone in your category who's in a motorcycle accident?
I would imagine, yes, sir. I don't know that off the top of my head, but yeah, there's brain injuries in my category. There's folks that get cerebral palsy or MS later on in life. It's those sort of things.
Hey, you ever trip on the fact that you were born this way, but the leading cause of amputation is people who eat too much sugar that do it to themselves? You ever trip on that?
Uh, I do, yes, yes. It's crazy to me to think that there's people that can go that route and need to get a limb amputated instead of just changing their diet. Yes, sir. That's crazy to me.
You drank so many fucking milkshakes that they had to cut your fucking foot off.
Yeah, that's a bad problem.
I mean, that's
It's
gotta be
sad.
that
It's really sad. I mean, those are
it's drug addiction, right? I mean, it's gotta be. I mean, I can't think of any other way to like it's gotta be lumped up with just being a drug addict. I mean, it's no different than doing heroin and losing your job, right? You drank so many milkshakes that they had to cut your leg off. You just couldn't stop.
and I've been trying to explain it to people like that because I feel strong about all those things. I've experienced some of these things of like when like if I break my diet and I eat one processed anything of sugar, it starts to send you off in a different direction. It's hitting things in your brain that's different that are all pleasure and all. Yeah, so then I look at those processed foods and bad foods, no different than the medication that I was on or any of those sort of things. Sometimes I think that maybe it's better for Uncle Joe to go become a crackhead for 2 years and getting his shit together instead of maybe just eating a bad diet and maybe somewhere 20 years down the road he's going to have to go to the hospital or have cancer or whatever these the sort of things are. But yeah, I wish more people would wake up and understand how important your diet is, how important it is to get good quality food. There's all kinds of things that is said in that space. I don't really think that the world of diet is a debatable world. I think that all the answers and facts and all those sort of things are out there on those sort of things, and it benefits you. We got to start teaching people more of why you want to do these positive things or why you want to go down these routes is because it benefits you. You are the one that starts getting better and those sort of things. And as somebody who's been through the medical system my whole entire life, you can cut all the corners you like buying all the bad food this week and so on and so forth. But those things are going to catch up and they will bite you in the ass and they will be more expensive on the back end instead of just handling things the right way. So I just wish we could get to that point more.
Well said. Thank you for that. Hey, when you got off these meds, did you start having just insane dreams? Did you have like 2 months of like anytime you
Yeah,
slept, it
yes,
wasn't even
sir.
like you were sleeping because the
Yep.
dreams were so vivid, you're like, "Fuck, that was exhausting."
Yes, that happens a lot. Yes, sir.
Still to this day, you'll have nights
Yeah,
where
I
it
would.
didn't even feel like you slept because your dreams are so gnarly?
Yeah,
Yeah, my wife's never been
yes,
addicted to
sir.
drugs, but she'll tell me that, but I can
Uh,
remember times in my life when I've quit things and the dreams are nuts. The dream even I took melatonin for a long time, like, for, like, 6 months of and when I got off it, my dreams were fucking nuts. I can only imagine being on all these psychiatric meds and painkillers and getting off. The dreams must have been just wild. Do you still have
yes,
dreams,
sir.
Russell, do you still have
There was
dreams where
things.
you Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I still have crazy dreams and all that. But like, so there was things with me prior to me starting to take. medication that in my brain, and that certain things just started to lag or get a little worse. And then when I started taking medication, it kept on progressing or whatnot. And then I thought that I blamed all that kind of on the medication. So then it's been a lot of battle in this brain of trying to figure things out of why and what. And then a lot of times I just try to get to the point of none of those things matter, and I'm just going to worry about today and the things that I'm going to do forward. But I can't tell if there was like some brain stuff that I had going on, and that was always just going to be a progression, or if that medication really kind of revved it up, or if that's still a part of something, and it's, I can't really decipher it.
Yeah, I hear you. Let me. Do you ever dream that like in your dreams you're still on the meds and you wake up and you're like, oh fuck, thank God I'm not. Do you ever dream that like in your dreams you're back to the old you?
No, I don't. I've never had none of that. There was like one time, I think it was like 2, 3 weeks ago. My brother was in town, and I use other things for pain now, that are natural or whatnot, not prescription medication. And I was in bad pain that day, and for the first time in like 3 years, I was like, dude, we got to hurry up and get to the house so I could take my pain pills. And I don't haven't done that in 3 years, so that was kind of weird. It was like a loop of something.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. What do you do? You're taking like CBD or marijuana or something like that?
Yes, sir. I do those things, and that's what helps me. I've never had any bad side effects on any of that. I don't, if I don't have those things, then it's not like your pain pills where you start going into a detox and you start,
Right.
because that was like the other side of those meds. It's like, they're giving them to you, their scheduled times. The more you take them, the more your body builds up to it, to where it would be like, towards the back end, I would take my medication the way that they were telling me. I'd take one, I couldn't take another one for 4 hours later, but I'd start detoxing, 2 hours into that pill being into my system. So then I'm just trying to find all kinds of more natural things. I do massages and cupping. I do the cold plunges and saunas. My diet and those sort of things is what I'm interested in now. I'm interested in real stuff and things that really work.
Um, when you go to did you go to the CrossFit Games last year? Did you compete last year?
No, I missed it by one spot, sir. I I I finished sixth, so I think they only took the top five.
Is there anything specifically movement that you're excited to showcase this year? Like anything you've been working on all year that you plan on going there and you're like, yeah, if this shows up, I'm gonna fucking smash it.
I don't really get to so it's kind of weird the category that I'm in. Uh, it's everything from my chest down isn't good. So like I can get my butt kicked sometimes by those guys, running and doing more lower half stuff. But I don't really get to display what I can do with my upper half in that category, because some of those other guys deal with other issues that they don't have on the lower end that they deal with on the top, I guess. But like I'm really good at like pull ups and bar muscle ups and those sort of things, and we don't really get to do that in our category because it's pretty dangerous.
Y- have you seen the workouts?
I've seen two of the workouts. One was like a row ski and bike, and I attempted that workout yesterday. And then there's another one that's like carrying like an iron cross,
Okay.
and skiing in between. but those are
There's
the
never
only two that I've seen.
there's never been a muscle up in your division?
No, they no, we try to keep our feet on the ground. Our balance and those things are real dangerous.
Do you know that for a fact? Do they tell you ahead of time? Do you know, "Hey,
It's
there'll
just
be no mu—"
sometimes when you don't I just know what like our standards are. So it's like if we're gonna do ropes, we do like lay to stand ropes, which like rope climbing is something I'm really good at. I do it legless. I don't really have a choice not to do it any other way. But during the competitions, you do lay to stand ropes, which those are actually harder for me. I can actually do legless rope climbs easier than I can lay to
Mm,
stand rope.
mm,
So then we'll have those sort of things. We'll have like instead of like say like a ring muscle up, you'll do more like ring rows and ring dips type of stuff. Our pull ups are more like jumping. We're trying to keep a point of contact, because a lot of our hands aren't the best and our grip. And I got really good grip with my first three fingers, but my outside of my hand. So then there's times that even when I'm doing those and I'm trying to be gun ho, you can get a little dangerous.
um, have you heard of, uh have you heard of this guy's company, HGR CBD? I wanna make sure I'm on the right Instagram account. Do you see their Instagram account, Caleb? HDR CBD, send us a DM, Russell Allmandinger, and we will send you something for free to try. We use organic ingredients. This guy's dead right about what he's saying about pain pills. Oh, here it is. It's if you go on your Instagram and you go to Homegrown Relief, um, this guy, yeah, you could do it now if you want.
Yes,
And
sir.
this guy says that he'll send you. I got his. I rub his lotion into my wife into her neck the last week. Her neck was bothering her, and you know what's crazy is she went to all sorts of specialists and shit. And yesterday she told me her neck's better, which is kind of crazy. But it's called Homegrown Relief, and then I got his gummies here too. Um, and he said he'll send you a some stuff to try. And his whole thing, dude, this guy's whole thing is he's so proud of the ingredients he uses. So feel free to ask. He's a total ingredient geek. His name's Carl, and
Yes,
he'll
sir.
send you
Thank you, Carl. I appreciate that, sir.
yeah, he'll send you some product you can try out. Total ingredient geek. Every time I talk to him, he wants to tell me, you know what's special about our stuff is the ingredients. Olivia, HGR, do you have a discount code? Uh, Oh, here we go. Use, Taylor Self's code at Olivia. I think it was Taylor for 20% off. All right. There you go. Oh, and here we go. Kenneth DeLapp says that they're having a Labor Day sale tomorrow, 30% off. All right, look at that. All right, dude. Well, hey, great having you on. Great to meet you. If I go, I can't wait to meet you in person. Good luck. They are streaming it this year, and me and a bunch of buddies for sure are gonna watch it and on our YouTube channel and party with you guys. Oh, here's the by the way, just so you guys know, HGR CBD Labor Day 30. When do you go? Do you go early or do you
Yes,
not?
Savon, I really appreciate you, sir.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
no, I'm gonna go. I have to go a couple days early just because of how that travel does on my body. Uh, but no, I really appreciate you, sir, and I appreciate what you're doing. I've seen what you've been doing over the last month. You've really tried to spotlight all the adaptive athletes, and I know that that community really appreciates that. So thank you, sir.
cool. And I want to tell you something, just for whatever it's worth to get off my chest. I don't do this, like, I don't do this to support you guys. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, I'm not like, "Oh, I'm supporting the
Yes,
adaptive
sir.
division." Like, if I didn't give a fuck, I wouldn't have anyone on the show. I'm not someone in the comments goes, "Oh, you should go and support the event." I'm not gonna go to support the event. I'm gonna go to watch Tater Tot fucking smash Mikey Swoosh. Like, that's what I'm gonna go for. Um, so just so you know, I'm at 10 o'clock at night when I'm going through your Instagram, I'm like yelling at my wife, "Look at this fucking nutball. Look at this guy's fucking doing muscle ups, or look at this guy's fucking nub twitch." Like, I'm only do what I want to do. So anyway, I just wanted you to know that I don't mind if you
That is
see it as important. I understand that, but you're supporting me by just as much by coming on my show, on my YouTube channel, letting me pick your brain, and me making $100 off you. So it's mutual, dude. I just want you to know that it's completely mutual. And
I
you taught me
appreciate it.
something
Well, if
today.
you
I'm
ever
gonna
need anything, you have my number now.
Okay, yeah, cool. Same thing. Feel free to text me any pictures or anything. You got my number too. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But you know what's cool is you really taught me something today. Burden. That burden thing is I'm gonna start using that word burden. Like, don't be a burden on other people. Pull your fucking weight. And why? Because you'll be happy. You'll feel better about yourself. I mean, it's for don't be a burden for selfish reasons.
Yeah.
It's a great paradox. I love it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it doesn't mean that we can't be human and make mistakes and things like that. But yeah, it's a lot different. It's like, if I try to not be a burden, then folks want to try to help out me and with my lifestyle. If I go back to those 3 or 4 years of just being a burden, nobody wants to be around me. Nobody wants to give you anything in your worst time ever. And that makes a lot of sense. So,
Yeah, people want to avoid fucking losers. You can't blame them for it. All right, dude. Love you. See you. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
yes,
Maybe I'll
sir.
talk if I don't go to the games. I'll talk to you and have you on afterwards, and we'll see how it went.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yep. All right, dude. Have a good day. Russell Allmandinger, Caleb Beaver. Your name doesn't really go together.
No.
I don't think so. I mean, it's a great name. That's what's fucked, but it doesn't like Sevon Matosian. You know what I mean? Tyler Watkins. Chasing.
Yeah.
Yours is like, you know what I mean? Caleb Beaver.
Yeah.
It's like a great
Do I
first
need a
name,
stage
great
name?
last name. What?
Do
No.
I need a
No. Like Sea Beaver's nice.
You just call me Beeve.
Beaver's nice. Jake Chapman's nice. That's a nice
Yeah,
name.
that
That
blows.
is true. Steven Flores, not bad. Susie
Back-to-back
Tell.
B's, I think.
What?
Back-to-back B's.
Yeah. Brandon Beaver.
Caleb Beaver. You have
Tag
to
Beaver.
enunciate it.
Super Beaver. Super Beaver drives an Escalade.
Yeah? Is it a white one or a black one?
Whatever she wants.
Are you a black Escalade mom or a white Escalade mom?
Hey, dude, it's like I go to the skate park, you know what I mean? And there's all these people getting out of their cars and shit, and then an Escalade pulls up, and every time, or you know what I mean, a brand new Denali or a fucking like a tricked out Suburban, and it's the mom, and I'm just like, boys, they're like, what? I'm like, hot mom alert, and fucking 100% of the time, a hot mom gets out. It's like, yeah.
That's hot girl shit, man. Every time.
And it's like, yeah, like you got a dude. Oh God, she got a dude with a lot of money with a good job. Super Beaver. Just is.
Just how the world
Kayla
works.
Beaver's Killer Beaver. Kayla Beaver.
See, that's better. It's because of the last B. The first B and the second B don't go together.
Ryan 133 accurate. Yeah. I mean,
you don't want to be a white Escalade mom though, because those are kind of like too prim and proper. You want to be a black Escalade mom.
Yeah, just Killer Beaver. Watch out for that Killer Beaver. Hey, dude, that guy's the poster child for fucking eating meat and fruit.
Yeah,
he even said that's why my head looks this way. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
I so want my head to look like that.
Just
I mean
wanna square jaw and a fucking big old dome.
Dude. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
Have you seen that video where it says first it's this guy with a like sharp tooth grill? Hold on. Oh, here we go. This is kind of what he looked like. Oh shit.
Holy shit. Oh, I don't like that.
Hold on.
My main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know nobody.
Oh my god.
That's kind of the vibe I got from him. Way cooler than that though.
Oh. Jake Chapman Noodles was on Glinton and things again last night. I was too busy doing my own show last night.
Crazy.
So much drama in the LBC.
If John Cena had a Vanilla Ice had a baby, it'd be Russell.
Yeah, I thought I was total getting fucking 2024 Vanilla Ice from him.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? You know how cool he's turned out? You know what I mean? With all the, he's just cool. He's rich. He's fucking got real estate, but he's still cool as shit. And yeah, Vanilla Ice turned out good. Look, Suge Knight didn't turn out so good.
I don't know who that is.
That was Suge Knight. You know who Suge Knight is?
Not really.
Suge. Someone be mean to Beaver because he doesn't know who Suge Knight is. Come on. Fucking, that's fucking Americana.
Death Row Records guy.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, you cheated.
Yeah, of course I did, dude. I got Google. I think I just pulled that off the dome.
He was in the car when Tupac got capped.
Supposedly, allegedly.
Yeah, and the story is that he hung Vanilla Ice out of like a building by his ankles.
Like Michael Jackson did to his baby.
Yeah. Susie Tell, I fuck Suge Knight. No shit.
Wow.
I don't think there's an H in there, but whatever. Who am I? I'm in no way.
Yeah, S-U-G-E.
I'm no way to. Caleb's not black like you. That's true. He didn't shoot Tupac. He did not.
I don't know. Alleged.
Hey, he's in jail now, and it's so crazy. He ran someone over at a nightclub, and the video footage is crazy.
Suge Knight?
With his car, yeah. It's so crazy. That's the coolest thing about TMZ. Like, it's like the only real news. Like, everything they say, they show you. Kim Kardashian's tit balls out at a restaurant. There it is. Suge Knight runs someone over. There it is. It's not like.
I always like when they would just have like their round tables and they would just show, they're all sitting at their cubicles and they're all just like got their coffee cups, and then they talk about something and then they show the clip and then they'd all kind of talk about it some more. And I always found that to be so fun.
God, I wanted to do that show when I ran the media department at HQ about CrossFit. So I wanted microphones and cameras in everyone's office on that top floor where my podcast room was. And I wanted to be able to just tap people in. That's where we were going before the podcast got killed. Yeah. Dude. I so wanted that. It would have been
like The Office, but real time.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That isn't that crazy? When I was a kid, there was this magazine called the National Enquirer, and it was all like fake shit. But or at least you assumed it was fake. It was all like aliens, or Michael Jackson's really an alien, or so and so is really a lizard. But then TMZ came around, and because they don't want to get sued into oblivion, the gossip shit's just 100% spot on now, and they show you. It's 1,000 times more accurate than CNN.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't need us as journalists to get their message out. They don't anymore in this ecosystem.
In the media, we're preoccupied with like
how much access, how many conversations is she going to have? I don't know how much that matters.
There is risk in talking to us. There's no doubt about that.
Then you hear the criticism, oh, she has to do more interviews. She has to talk about policy. Insiders you're speaking to, they're sort of like, no, absolutely not.
As a campaign hack, no. I love you all, but I don't want her talking to you all right now.
Remember what Elizabeth Warren did when she ran back in 2020? She had a white paper for every policy position under the sun. And what happened? She collapsed in the primary. So there's a belief that perhaps you put more ideas on paper. That's a bad idea.
The more details you share, the more your policies are going to get picked apart.
Harris has changed this from being a policy election and more of like a movement, a cultural movement.
It's a vibes election. Right, that's right.
Policy
It's a vibe.
Vibes election?
It's a vibes election. This vibes election that we're all feeling right now.
It already felt like a vibes election before.
Most elections are vibes elections.
I think every election, frankly, is a vibes election. And I think there are really only two vibes that matter in American politics. One is hope and joy, and the other is fear and anger.
Candidates don't need us as journalists to get their message out. They don't anymore in this ecosystem.
In the media,
It's a vibes election, dude. Fuck, that's crazy. Like, just not giving off a good vibe, dude. You know, I don't really think that vibe's not it.
I challenge you right now to go find me. I've been looking for 2 days now, nonstop, for Kamala's interview on CNN. I can't find it.
It's they have like 20 different clips chopped up across YouTube. Like, you can't watch the whole thing because they just pick and choose.
She didn't do it. She hasn't done an interview yet. I can't give her an interview for that. 18 minutes was the total sit down time. Like, where the fuck is the interview?
Yeah. Some of the clips that I saw were pretty bad too.
Oh my God, they're fucking atrocious. How do they openly say her campaign strategy is to not talk to the media?
It doesn't make any sense. Isn't that how that's the campaign? Like, that's how you get people to.
They'll never know who I really am.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you get any of these, but I get ads for her now. Like,
dude,
on my phone.
She's all up in my shit. I wonder if she knows.
I'm 10 toes down for Kamala Harris, and here's why. 1, she is a woman. 2, she is black. 3, she's not Donald Trump.
And this dude she picked. The dude, this is the nastiest fucking. This is the dude. Like, I don't know how you could say I hate black people louder than this fucking guy. This guy is the fucking worst fucking human being. This guy fucking let the hood fucking burn for 4 days. Is he out of his fucking mind?
Is he from Missouri? I don't even know. I'm not even paying attention to him.
This guy is so bad. This guy gives me full KKK pedo vibes. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Superpower is how normal he is.
Is he? I mean, I don't know. I don't know this guy. I mean, is it normal to let your biggest city in your state burn while you're the governor for 4 days, destroying thousands of businesses, hundreds of millions of dollars in property?
Those businesses were owned by fucking black people. This is CNN tearing him a new one.
Property damage while you do nothing? Does that sound normal? Is it normal for your wife to say she opened the window so she could let the smell of tire fires waft in so they could take in the smells of this radical chaos and anarchy?
Did you hear Tim Walz's wife say that? She left the windows open so she could smell the tires burning.
What, so she could feel like she was actually deployed, unlike her husband?
I'm like, look at this KKK PDF. Oh shit! I want to make a Walls shirt that says that. Yeah, Walls' daughter tipped off the rioters about the National Guard arriving.
Oh,
Dude, the other day I came in the studio after I'd been in here. I was in the studio for like 3 hours in the morning doing a podcast. I left the door open. I came back like 3 hours later, and my whole podcast room smelled like farts. And I didn't even know I was farting. I've like reached that age where I don't even know.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's crazy. So crazy.
That's so bad.
The streets of Minneapolis. I don't view any of that as normal. I look at this through the lens of decision making. And in 2 cases, they've showed us who they are. Kamala Harris absolutely bowed down to the radical left in her party by not picking Shapiro, who is Jewish. There was a nasty campaign run against him. Everybody knows it. No one wants to admit it, but everybody knows it. And she wound up choosing the person who was not Jewish and not as talented and not from the state that she has to win. And for Walz, when he did what he did during the riots, to me, it was him saying, I don't have the strength or the character to stand up to this anarchy. So in 2 big decision points for this ticket, they've showed us they will always bow down to the radical left. So I think if you want to talk about normal, to the normal people in this country, bowing down to the radical left is not normal. It shouldn't be normal, and it should be
His superpower is.
I don't know. Let me throw this out there too. I met a lot of white dudes in my life who are just pussies. A lot, including myself. I met a lot of Asian dudes who are pussies. I met fewer Mexican dudes who are pussies. I don't know any black dudes who are pussies. None. I don't know any.
Really?
You know, yeah, I don't know any. You know some in the military?
Yeah, I know a couple.
I'm now in this time in my life. I live in fucking Whiteville, but I live like in Crackheadville. It's kind of like Trank. I never see any black people on Trank. Like, you know, all the pictures of like people like bent over and shit. Oh, I got a great one to show you in a second. The craziest Trank video ever. But growing up in the Bay Area, there were no black dudes who were pussies. Where does the DNC find these dudes? How come there's not like, who's the black guy who does the deodorant commercial? Who's just jacked out of his mind and cool as shit?
Oh fuck. Damn it. What is his name?
I don't know any. Well, you're in the military, so maybe like I don't know. But like when I lived in the Bay Area, Terry Crew, yeah.
Yes.
Why are all the black dudes the DNC parades up there like pussies? I don't know. I never knew any. All the kids I went to school with, all the neighborhoods I lived in, all the black dudes I knew stood up straight, fucking had deep voices, always had fucking tons of girlfriends. They were. I didn't know. The only like I guess in college I had one friend who was black who was on meth and he kind of got effeminate. He was just on crazy meth. But that made all the dudes effeminate. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know where the DNC parades all these dudes out. I know where you get all the white pussies at. Like there's tons of them in the Bay Area in California. I don't know. You ever see any strong? I guess you don't even see any strong white men. Do you ever see any strong black men at the Democratic National Convention?
Probably not.
No.
Not that I've seen like in the clips from it, no.
Like the RNC got fucking Ben Carson, who wears a 3-piece suit. He's a world-class fucking surgeon, and he's fucking devout Christian.
Yeah. That's a good representation.
They got Condoleezza Rice, fucking, you know, soft-spoken, crazy, intelligent, powerful. It's just fucking nuts, dude.
It's the vibe, dude. That's the vibe they're picking.
Dude, I was counting. It was like I don't remember what the number is. I'm making up, but like 23 of the first 35 speakers at the DNC were obese black women.
That's what I'm seeing in the Kamala ads too.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is going on, dude? Those people have fucking brain rot. And yeah. Walz is just the prototypical fucking pedo. It's fucking nuts. Speaking of pedos, I don't ever see any black pedos either. That seems to be exclusive to, like if I were to tell you, if I were to say white, black, or other, and I told you a story about a pedo, you would just immediately assume white male, right?
Yeah.
You can just cross women, 50% of the population, right off the
right off the rip. Yeah.
Yeah, right off the rip. Then you just go straight default white guy.
Yeah, straight white guy. Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
Gay prison sex, I go with black guy.
I see and the victim is a white guy.
Victim. What do you mean? The
recipient.
Recipient. Yeah. Don't be so judgmental. Montana
Sorry.
college student offered big cash to endorse nervous Dem Senator John Tester, who backing trans athletes competing against women. So this guy wanted men to compete against women in college sports. And now Montana student athletes were offered thousands of dollars if they publicly endorsed Democrat Senator John Tester, who has advocated for transgender athletes to be allowed to compete in sports against biological women. University of Montana track and field sprinter Lily Meskers revealed that her and her fellow Grizzlies received the lucrative offer over the summer as part of the name and image likeness deal. Meskers, a junior journalism student at the Missoula campus, shared her experience with the Montana Talk radio show, alleging Tester and his backers are growing increasingly nervous about their prospects of winning the election because several unpopular stances he has taken during his 3 terms. Hey, look at this fucking dude. I hate to judge someone, but you're from the party of fucking pedos and trannies and thinking that and taking away women's rights. Sorry, dude. You know what I mean? You see the 2 Mexican dudes and 2 black dudes walk into a liquor store with their fucking pants down, like showing their ass, and you're like, fuck, turn on the cameras. Yeah. I see this guy walk into the fucking elementary school. I'm like, sorry, turn on the cameras. That dude cannot be left alone with the fucking kids. I mean, I'm just saying in gross generalizations. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Stereotyping. You see the snake with the big jaw, and you're like, that one's got fangs.
Yeah.
Don't put your hand in that cage. One of his stances include voting against Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act of 2023, a bill aimed at strengthening the law's existing protections for women, ensuring a level playing field for female athletes, and protecting the law from Biden administration radical regulatory scheme. Incumbent Tester is in a tight race with Republican nominee Tim Sheehy, a Navy SEAL veteran from whom former President Donald Trump has endorsed. Okay, so you want to see this fucking girl? I need to invite her on the show. I want to hear her story. Look at this fucking chick. This is the fucking girl he tried to pay to say it's okay that men compete against her. Why did he choose? I wish this girl would get into CrossFit. She would fucking tear shit up.
She probably will when she's done competing in Division I sports.
Fucking nuts. Look at goats.
I feel like he was trying to pay her to do something else too.
America. I don't like those pants, but whatever.
What?
You like those?
Yeah, those look great on her.
Those are mom pants.
That's the vibe these days, dude.
The vibe. Fuck you.
No, they do look good though. I do like them.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I like low on the hip. I like 7s. Anyway, crazy, right?
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, this is cool. Who doesn't love a butterfly?
Oh, that's wild.
I bet you I could paint a butterfly on the side of my nose and someone would think it was a butterfly landed there. Fucking nuts. You're paying hot fucking track athletes to say it's okay that men compete against women?
Don't worry, it's an NIL deal.
It's a what?
It's a name and likeness deal, so it's okay.
Listen carefully to this one. Everyone focus for 90 seconds. Just listen carefully to this, please. I know it's preaching to the choir, but just listen to this. Time Magazine, I'm sure by now everyone's seen the Time Magazine cover where it says ultra processed foods aren't as bad as you think. Right? Or does it say something like Are ultra processed foods not as bad as you think? It was on the cover of Time magazine, Libtard magazine, by the way. Okay, here we go.
You might have come across this recent Time magazine article that says, what if ultra processed foods aren't as bad as you think, and maybe gone, oh really? Well, I'm about to break it down for you because it's worse than you think. This article cites a dietitian named Jessica Wilson. And this is Jessica Wilson. You can see she's promoting something called hashtag ultra processed fried.
Racism right there, under their rules, right? You got the black woman pushing poison onto her community, right? Under their rules, right?
It's okay if they do it.
Yeah, it's okay if they do it.
Days. She also makes posts like this, playing the race card to basically run cover for Big Sugar by saying an ad like this, which is warning Latino children that drinking Coke will lead to diabetes, and saying this is racist.
She's trying to kill black children by feeding them Coke. By the way, for those of you who don't know, in Mexico, 55% of the calories consumed by Mexicans on average are from soda pop.
It's a lot.
Why might she be doing this? Well, let me introduce you to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, your trusted source for food and nutrition information. The Academy represents more than 112,000 credentialed nutrition and dietetics practitioners. And the Academy's quote-unquote healthful eating messaging had reached approximately 25 billion people last year. Except they're really just...
That part doesn't make sense. There's not even 25 billion people on the planet.
The propaganda arm of Big Food. They take money from the who's who of Big Food. You got companies like ConAgra, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, Hershey's, General Mills, Kellogg's, etc., etc. The leaders of this academy are also tied to Big Food. Sylvia Rowe, member of the Academy Foundation Board of Directors. She is the former vice president of communications for the Sugar Association. Mary Lee Chin, she is a member of the Academy Foundation Board of Directors, and she is also a former consultant for Monsanto. Hope Warshaw, former chair of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics Foundation and member of the Academy. You might have come across this recent Time magazine article.
It goes on and on. It's so fucking corrupt. Imagine I say, hey, you shouldn't drink Coke. And then because it'll kill you, and someone goes, hey, that's racist because Mexicans drink Coke. I'm like, what? What? That's what Floyd 19 was. Greg warning the fucking people, hey, don't let these fucking idiots who gave us COVID guidelines give us guidelines on how to deal with racism. And people were like, that's racist. Oh, my goodness. I hate Big Food. Also, my 401k holds equity funds that invest in Big Food that fund my retirement. Amen, brother. Me too. Me too. Amen. Amen. Hey, I respect Red Bull so much more. Red Bull tries to get you to drink their shit by just making cool videos of athletes. These fucking people have fucking completely infiltrated the government at the fucking highest level and pharma at the highest level. And culture at the highest level, like with social engineering.
Yep.
It's fucking nuts, right?
It's pretty wild.
This is wild yet no surprise. 49ers. I heard this was with the 49ers first round draft pick. I wonder if that's true. Ricky Pearsall is shot for his Rolex in crime-ridden San Francisco a week before NFL rookie's first 49ers game. Did you fucking see this?
Yeah, I did.
This guy was fucking signing autographs and someone fucking shot him to take his Rolex. A couple days ago. Oh, yes, he was. The first round fucking draft pick.
What's crazy is if you just look up his name, nothing comes up about him getting shot. It's just about his contract, his draft, his girlfriend, and catch. Has nothing to do about the fact that like the dude just got shot.
Holy shit.
Like they're trying to cover up the fact that there are shootings going on in San Francisco.
God, San Francisco is such a shithole. What a mess. I said this 2 weeks ago or last week, and here it is. I just want to get credit for it. I just want credit for it. Kamala wants the mics on during the debate so she can do this 30 times. This is exactly why Kamala wants the mics on. Exactly what I'm about to show you.
Oh, this is disgusting.
So in the last debate with Biden, they had the mics turned off so Trump wouldn't interrupt them. But they want the powerful, strong woman to stand up to Trump when he interrupts. And this is exactly why they want the mics on. Are they stupid? Do they not think we know this?
President, I'm speaking.
I'm
speaking. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait,
I'm speaking.
be important if you said the truth.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Okay. If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation. Okay?
Please.
Okay.
You know what's crazy is Pence is like the biggest gentleman in the world, dude. Whether you like him or not, he's a fucking class act.
Trying to answer you now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
I will not sit here and be lectured by the Vice President. I'm speaking.
That's all just cultural. That's just like women in power. That's just leveraging the stupidity of the fucking women empowerment movement. You will not, a white man will not tell me a black woman he will not accidentally interrupt me or interrupt me.
Yeah, I'm about to. I will not be lectured by the Vice President. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
It's crazy.
It's almost as bad as that one, those two people that won the debate team championships or whatever for the state.
Oh,
and they were just like screaming.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like that.
I have so many. Bear with me here. I have so many fucking things I've been wanting to share with you guys for the last month. I gotta get through them. This one's great. At least there's some fucking good news. Hardware giant Lowe's pledges to end diversity policies to avoid public backlash. Hardware retail chain Lowe's is the latest major brand to announce a retreat from woke policies, again driven by pressure from conservative filmmaker Robbie Starbuck. That dude's tearing shit up. That guy, dude, I want to throw my Harley Davidson away.
You still haven't sold it?
No, I need to. I need to throw it away. I need to go to
take it.
I'm going to go to the Indian dealership and just trade it in.
Oh,
Starbucks announces on Monday on X that he had notified Lowe's that he was planning another of his now trademark exposés against the company left-wing corporate policies, to which Lowe's responded by announcing multiple changes to those policies. Specifically, the company will stop participating in corporate equality index social credit system promoted by the LGBTQ+1Z54 pedophile community. Human rights campaign, cease donations to Pride and other organizations that want to chop penises off your son. And replace identity-based employee resource groups with one for all employees. It also suggests more reforms would follow. We're now forcing multi-billion-dollar organizations to change their policies. I don't know if forcing is the right word. We are winning, and one by one, we will bring sanity back to corporate America. In recent years, left-wing activists have used diversity, equity, and inclusion dogma and environmental, social, and governance standards to encourage major U.S. corporations to take favorable stands on political and cultural issues such as homosexuality, transgenderism, race relations, and the environment. God, how does transgenderism get in there?
I don't think transgender people want to work at Lowe's to begin with. Unless they're super handy. If they're a super handy transgender person, I would help them. I would ask them for help on my plumbing.
They just don't need it. They just don't need to be fucking mixed with fucking blacks and gays. And whatever. They're just like, how did they fucking get in there? What are they going to let pedophiles in there next? Oops, too late.
This is certainly not part of Larry Gessick's retirement plan. The 77-year-old electrician by trade leaves at 5:30 a.m. and heads for his part-time job unloading trailers at a local supermarket in St. Petersburg, Florida, for $14.75 an hour. His wife, Joyce, 66, prepares for her workday, making $14 an hour as a full-time legal administrator.
It's not really a retirement.
What is it?
It's working every day.
The Gessics came out of retirement not because they wanted to, but because they had to, and are among the 11 million Americans, 1 in 5 over 65, who are still working.
It's hard, 77, still busting my butt.
So I call it the work, retire, repeat syndrome.
Labor economist Teresa Ghilarducci says work is the new retirement.
More than half of the people who are retired right now do not have enough money to be retired.
And granted, this guy watching, this doctor who's watching, he makes $500,000 a year, probably at least. But he fucking also went to school for fucking 24 years, 12 years of fucking K through 12 and another 12 years of college.
Right.
And he's saving people's lives and shit.
Fuck, that sucks, dude.
Who's to blame for all of this?
I blame policymakers who experimented with our retirement system 40 years ago, and they are not saying the experiment failed.
That experiment is what we know today as the 401k, named after part of a 1978 law that offered companies an alternative to the traditional pension plan.
The thought was,
this is certainly not part of
Crazy. I should follow this guy. Nice jacket. Looks like he got that at Conor McGregor's wardrobe.
It's like people who retire from the military can't really actually retire.
Because of inflation?
Yeah. You just don't make enough money off of your retirement. And also, if you actually retire by 38, I don't think you can't access your like TSP account, right? Until you're like 50 or something.
What's TSP?
Like
This
your
long podcast?
thrift savings plan.
Oh, I don't even know what that is. Is that something mill guys get?
Yeah. But I don't think you can access it until you're 55 or 60 without incurring a penalty or something. I don't know.
Sebi, when are we having that old hottie on again? The 87-year-old. I don't know. I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. And nobody remember her? She was a gardener or something? I fucking no idea.
Speech is under attack in Brazil, and the charge is being led by this man. This is Alexander de Moraes, the minister of the Supreme Court of Brazil, and as of today, ordered X to be taken down nationwide within Brazil within 24 hours, giving the App Store 5 days to comply, and even threatening to fine citizens of Brazil over $8,000 for using a VPN to access X. In typical Elon Musk fashion, he's pushing pretty hard against this, saying that he will provide Starlink to users in Brazil for free so they can continue accessing X. It is astounding to see just how afraid these tyrants are of free speech, and this news is especially significant given Mark Zuckerberg's statement this week talking about how the current US government pressured Meta into censoring certain speech on their platforms. But whether it's happening in the US or Brazil, all you need to do is look at history to realize that the people who are trying to silence freedom of speech are always on the same side. Free speech is under attack in Brazil, and the charge...
Is that crazy?
It's absurd. Why would they do that? Twitter's great. X. Whatever they want to call it.
For any of you that have new kids, for any of you that have babies at home, for any of you who are adults, the holy grail of fitness, which is not talked about much at all, is crawling. If your kid does not crawl, your kid is fucked. Sorry, I don't mean to argue your kid's limitations. Crawling is huge. You should never encourage your kid to walk. They should crawl as long as they fucking can. Once they stand on 2 feet, they probably will never crawl again. Bear walks should be in all of your fucking warm-ups. Always bear walks, bear walks, bear walks, bear walks. It's okay to set the fucking timer for 20 minutes and do bear walks for 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off as a warm-up. planks, bear walks, anytime you're on all four. It is fucking massive. How do I know that? I don't know. I don't know how I know it. But you
You're
have
low to the ground, you can do it already.
You have to fucking be crawling. Your kid will walk eventually. There's no issue with crawling. There's no like pride in saying my kid walked at fucking 9 months. What you want to say is my kid at 14 months was the fastest crawler I've ever seen. Crawl, 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 crawl.
CDC just changed the guidelines for children's developmental milestones. Now, this is a huge problem, and here's why. Essentially, what they did was they lowered the bar to normalize the fact that kids are simply developing slower than they ever have before. First, they lowered the language milestones. For example, previously, a child was expected to say their first word by 12 months old. Now, that expectation has been pushed to 15 months old. Another thing they changed was at 24 months old, children were supposed to know 2 to 4 word sentences. Now, they're only expected to know 2 words. They also completely removed over 200 other milestones. One of the most surprising was the ability for a child to crawl, a key indicator of cognitive development. They also completely removed the expectation that a 3-year-old should be able to use full sentences in conversations. Do you guys see the problem here? Despite all the spending and advances in healthcare, science, and technology, not only are we dying sooner, we're literally developing slower than we ever have. Now, whether this is due to lockdowns, jabs, or the hyperuse of devices, these are all things that they either mandated, enforced, or have normalized. The CDC just...
If you had your child around people who were masked, you fucked your kids. And it just is what it is. You got to fucking accept it, especially if you had it. There's plenty of studies out there that show that kids don't learn how to speak from listening, that more than 50% of their skill comes from reading lips. And if you put your kids around people who are masked, they're fucked. They didn't learn the nuances that were vital to learning about facial expressions. You really fucked your kids. And if you put masks on your kids, you doubly fucked them. Don't do that shit. Let your kids fucking crawl like fucking crazy. Don't put fucking shoes on your kids. It's not fucking complicated. It's just stuff you have. It's just stuff you don't have to do. It just makes your life easier. Damn, dude, we're devolving. I know, it's crazy, right?
Maybe eventually we'll just go back to being fish.
God, I suck at swimming. I suck at swimming. You guys want to know what it's like to live in California? I want to show you this. Oh, you're going to fucking love this. Look at this. This is just this is...
Oh my God.
It sucks because this chick's so fucking hot too.
Mid.
What's mid mean? Mid hot?
Not really that hot.
Oh, I think she's hot as fuck. Might even be a dude.
She says 10 toes down, I'm going to fucking lose it.
Dude, this is so fucking bad. And then I'm going to show you something else right after this that's going to blow your fucking mind.
Going into Target and stealing clothes, it's not a crime. Your resources.
Not a crime?
Hell no. Target enslaved my ancestors a year ago. Target!
You're from Oakland?
Yeah. I'm black, I'm a woman, a worker, and I'm queer. So I've got 4 different oppressional systems already fighting against me.
You were upset a little bit? Help me understand a little bit more.
The crime is because people are homeless. We are stealing basic necessities.
Sure.
People are bipping into cars because they are on the street. So I wouldn't necessarily consider it to be crime.
There's a little bit of that. We can't deny that, right?
Personally, I don't look at a crime. If you're going into Target, a multi-billion-dollar company, and stealing clothes, it's not a crime.
That's where we disagree, I think.
I mean, you're white and I'm black. There's a whole nother socioeconomical piece that I have never had access to.
Walmart's in Chicago. They're gone. Why are they gone?
Whose fault is that?
People stealing from Walmart.
Why did Walmart come into an urban city already and displace thousands of black people in an area where we needed housing first? Once we have housing, you can sustain yourself from there on in.
Then all we have are corner stores in Oakland when we run out all these large businesses, right?
Our corner stores are mom and pop's own. They're black and brown owned. We don't steal from our corner stores. That's the crazy part.
Security footage shows a man walking into Ideal Market in Oakland and seconds later ripping out the store's ATM. It happened around 10 p.m. Thursday night while the store was still open with an employee inside.
You're going into Target and stealing clothes.
She's a worker. Dude, this is fucking crazy, but this is California. This is like you can throw a fucking dart and hit someone like this.
when she said she was a worker and that was a what did she say? Something working against her? I fucking die, dude.
I have this friend who's fucking crazy fucking hot with huge D titties, right? And the amount of famous people she has access to is fucking crazy through Instagram. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't have access to those people. You don't have access to those people. No white man
Oh.
has access to those people.
Yeah.
None. Zero. She can just reach out to anyone famous and it's fucking on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
The news person she has access to is fucking crazy. She was showing me that she's chatting with.
And you like it? I mean,
It's like the most famous. It's like the most famous fucking person I know. Like I've heard of.
It's pretty wild. Is it Trump?
It's close. It's fucking nuts, dude. But let me show you. So did that woman look strong to you?
She looks like a track athlete. Yeah.
Yeah, she looks strong. She's attractive, big eyes, well spoken. It seemed like she's a fully capable human being, right? Just got some brain rot.
Yeah.
Nothing's holding her back. If I told you she was a fucking multi-millionaire or billionaire, you'd be like, okay, there's nothing like you wouldn't be like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Except for the brain if she didn't talk.
If she could be if she shut the fuck up and paid attention. Yeah.
Okay. Let me show you. Imagine her saying any of that shit to this guy that I'm about to show you.
Ay, kırık. Ay. Minawala Joseph. Like Naraka, Zobia, Zadi, Mutin, Nagraka, Zobia, Zet. Yes, that's what it is not like Naraka.
How the fuck are these two people living in the same world?
Fuck. No, dude.
That's like the most powerful woman I've ever seen with brain rot, and she's complaining when there's a dude like this on fucking planet Earth. So if you don't think that there's a mind virus or that's like some sort of gross exaggeration or like the conversation we were having, like that guy can't help but be a burden.
Yeah.
That chick is like eminently capable. That chick could fucking run for president of the United States. That chick there's no limitations to her. Not the fact that she eats pussy, not the fact that her skin is black, not the fact that
she's a worker.
She's a worker.
Damn, I can't believe that's a human being.
My algorithm fed me those back to back, dude.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my god. They're just like, hey, check this out. You want to see something even better? Check this one out.
Yeah, how the fuck?
Oh man. That's wild.
Imagine the intellectual journey that woman has to take to get to like happiness.
Well, she's probably just happy right now. She's ignorant to reality.
And it's crazy. Imagine how fucking disconnected you are in your thinking. It's like PFAA thinking. They're $1 billion corporation, so you can steal from them. That doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You pay for it. I pay for it. Someone pays for it. It's just people here. There's no corporation here. Who the fuck are you kidding? It's not like hey, the corporations live in the city next door. Dude, it's all just fucking people. How about you don't steal from there and you buy your shit from somewhere else? And by the way, blacks and Mexicans don't own those stores, corner stores. How are you doing, my friend? I am from India. I have come to the hood. I am now selling you Tic Tacs and Red Bull
that's brown, right?
Oh.
Is that it's brown people.
Oh man, the mind
I did see the
virus.
guy running out when the ATM was getting ripped out of his store. That he looked very Indian.
The mind virus is real. This is a guy standing outside with a clear bag with a $10,000 of fake cash in it. Have you seen this?
Hold on.
Have you seen
Jake,
this?
No.
There are
Jake,
people whose job it is to give people like that orgasms.
stop. Stop. Fuck, dude. That's all right. Anyway.
See how deep it is. Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's fucking gnarly, dude.
This is a guy, a stunt he pulls. He's got a bag with $10,000 cash. He's just hanging outside.
Yeah, for real. Oh, this 10,000, right? Hey, bro, relax, bro. Give my bag back, bro. Hey, bro, give my bag back, bro. Look, it's
disgraceful. I can't believe what I just saw. I just saw the evil racist police of the world oppressing a black man while he innocently carried $10,000 in a clear backpack. Now, it turns out this is what we've been talking about. This is how racist the police are. You saw that, right? You didn't? You didn't see it? Yeah, no, that wasn't the police. That was a man who was just minding his own business. Granted, a clear backpack in the hood, probably not the best move, but the money was fake, but the gun was real.
So that guy got killed eventually. The guy
Really?
doing the prank got himself taken out after a few likes. Don't use staged videos. I'm pretty sure it was not staged. It was fake money, but the person robbing him was not in on it.
Fuck, that's crazy, dude. And you know, YouTubers are doing shit like that too.
Oh, for sure.
They're just out there doing shit. That's what I worry about. Tommy G. When he does stuff like that. I mean, he doesn't do that, but he
doesn't do that.
But he's putting himself in some sketchy spots. That stresses me out.
I get concerned when he crosses the border. You think this would be enough right here? How about this? Illegal alien group attempts to board school bus in California report. 2 separate incidents took place in the same district within 24 hours. A group of around 20 suspected illegal immigrants attempted to board a school bus picking up elementary students in California on Wednesday. What the fuck?
Huh?
Do you know what they're doing? Do you know what the protocol is to fix this?
No, what is it?
If the bus driver sees illegal aliens at the bus stop or what they perceive as illegal aliens, to keep driving. So just leave the kids there who are waiting for the bus there.
That makes sense. Yeah, leave the kids with the illegal aliens that are probably not very cool people.
The incident unfolded just 24 hours after a smaller group of suspected illegal aliens tried to get on another school bus in the same district. Oh, it's fucking nuts, dude.
That's pretty bad.
On Tuesday, a group composed of 3 suspected illegal alien males, of course, was walking in the middle of the highway and allegedly tried to stop another bus. Please stay vigilant, and if the bus drives by, please follow the bus to pick up your child at the next stop. So if there's kids who want to get off the bus, they just take you to the next stop.
So the parents who are in walking distance of the bus need to go back to their house, grab their car, follow along the bus until you get to the next stop, and then pick them up.
I guess
Or
that's
the,
the
the
trick.
parents are just hanging out at the bus stop with. That's fucking insane.
Insane, dude.
Yeah, I
This
don't care
fucking
for that.
world we fucking live in. Here's a good one. Last week, this is really going to blow your mind. You're not even going to believe this.
What?
What?
I was going to say, just going back to the 49ers thing, with the quarterback or whoever just got shot in the chest.
Yeah.
I wonder if that'll give if the 49ers themselves as an entity will try to do something about that. Because if your first round draft pick is incapable of playing in their first
Signing
season,
autographs? Yeah.
yeah, I'm just like, you signed a guy for millions of dollars, you're paying him millions of dollars, but because of the city's lack of policing or action in any capacity, I wonder if the 49ers will try to do something about that with the city, if anything will change.
It's fucking nuts. Okay, look at this.
Unlikely, but
players.
Damn, having that many people around one guy is not okay.
Uruguayan football player Juan Izquierdo, 27, was pronounced dead by his club's Nacional last night. He collapsed on the pitch due to cardiac arrhythmia.
Crazy.
Oops. Hate it when that happens. Fucking nuts. So glad I'm not. You guys heard that a couple weeks ago in a school in Vermont, they gave a kid the COVID vaccine without asking the parents, and it went to the Supreme Court and they lost. They said if you send your kid to school, that you're basically accepting anything that they do. Sending your kid to school, the school doesn't even need to send a note. If you send your kid to school, you're giving the school permission to do whatever schools do. I forget what the word is.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And so some parents sent their kids to school in Vermont and the kid got the fucking COVID vaccine and they have no fucking recourse. Okay, now listen to this. I think this is why Fraser is moving out of Vermont. The Vermont Department of Health, the same people who gave the kid the fucking vaccine, 6-year-old kid vaccine, put out at school without parents' consent, put out a post. Oh, if you send your kids to school, it's consent. It's just automatic consent. Vermont Department of Health put out a post informing families that they shouldn't call their child son or daughter because it isn't inclusive enough. Yes, this is real. The Vermont Department of Health, the language we use matters when talking about family. It's important to use terms that cover the many versions of what family can look like. Sign up for your monthly health equity newsletter for more tips. Use child or kid instead of son or daughter. Say family member rather than household members. I don't even get that one. Say family rather than extended family. Often grandparents, aunts, and uncles. And what the fuck is going on?
Not everybody has a family, so we need to make sure that we include everybody who doesn't have a family.
Look at this post. You people can't read. It doesn't say don't call your children sons or daughters, rather kid or child to other homes, children raised by grandparents or foster. Great example of why Republicans love losing your shit over the small stuff and not being smart enough to read beyond the caption. Use child or kid instead of daughter or son. I hope she gets ass pounded.
It absolutely matters. Reading comprehension shouldn't be up for debate. Reading comprehension.
Fucking this world. Imagine the government telling you what to call your kid.
How about you go fuck yourself?
Yeah. Anyway. Oh, this one's titled Mitchell Cooper's Perfect World. I wonder what this one is. Oh, yeah. Here we go. This is Mitchell. Is Mitchell English? Is he from the United Kingdom?
Hooper?
Yeah.
He's fucking Canadian, dude.
Oh, I guess it's all the same thing to me. Okay, here we go. Mitchell Cooper's Perfect World.
German government is hunting down an anonymous user on social media, not because this user committed a serious crime such as something terrorism related or incitement to murder, but for the crime of calling an MP fat. Andrew Torber, the founder of the social media platform Gab, shared a letter from the German government requesting data on a particular user, such as account identification, IP address, full name, date of birth, phone numbers, home address, email addresses, and more. Because this user, quote, published 2 posts that sexualized the German politician Ricarda Lang and denigrated her weight. The letter goes on to say, through sexualized and denigrated representation of Ricarda Lang, the user attacks the honor of the politician and shows his own disrespect. With this insult, the user publicly insults a person in the political life on the grounds of the insulted person's position in public life.
So Cooper basically said in his video, John, you can't say that that you don't like looking at these girls because they actually are ugly. I mean, right? That's pretty much what he said. And so this guy calls this chick fat, which, I mean, she's beyond fat.
She is morbidly obese.
But because she is actually fat, you can't call her fat. Like if she was skinny, it would be fine.
Yeah, sure.
Like if you called fucking Danielle Brandon ugly, it's like it wouldn't matter.
Right.
Because then someone else would just call you gay.
Which is a reasonable response.
I mean, what the fuck is going on here?
God, that's fucking hilarious.
God, I didn't realize how fat that lady was. She was huge. Did you see her in the chair?
Massive, dude. She can't even fit in the chair.
Thick.
She's a plus size park hopper.
Yeah. Oh, I know just the account for her.
Yeah, she probably needs it.
Okay, I don't know if this is real. So everyone settle down. I know someone in the YouTube comments be like, Sevon spreading misinformation again, blah, blah, blah. But look at this. I don't know if this is real. I tried to verify this and I couldn't. But Tucker, thank you for writing me. While we may not agree on every issue, we both know that every person in our nation should have the freedom to live safe from gun violence. The majority of Americans should have the freedom to live safe from gun violence. The majority of Americans stand with us in support of common sense gun safety legislation. So she doesn't say anything. I don't know if she actually wrote this, but this is the letter. This is the letter that Kamala Harris supposedly posted. If someone could find this on X, I would love it to find out if this is real. But listen, this is fucking awesome.
So Kamala Harris just posted a really heartfelt letter from a child named Tucker that basically goes on to talk about how he's a conservative person, but is really upset about gun violence in this country. And she goes on to talk about how this letter is proof that the majority of Americans stand in support of common sense gun safety legislation. The problem with this is that it's totally fake. A user named Apple Lamps went and transcribed the entire letter to a Word document and then put it through a AI detection software website, and it hit 100% for being created with AI. So Kamala Harris's staff went and created this sob story on an AI site like ChatGPT, and then transcribed it with someone that had bad handwriting to emulate a child. They are making up stories from fake children to take away your rights. Wake up, America. Wake up.
You think that's true? I do think it's true. If I had to bet money, I'd say it's true.
Yeah, I found the tweet.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking nuts, dude.
It's also funny that they use the name Tucker as if it's like Tucker Carlson.
Yeah. Fucking nuts. And her whole shit is fake. All her shit's fake.
It's all a vibe, man.
So yeah.
Crazy, dude. It's so bad. I think there's let me see.
Oh, Carlson responded in kind. Her titties are fake. Whose titties? Kamala's? Really?
She has titties.
You guys want to hear a crazy story? This guy, I think this guy has a podcast. I wish I knew what. Is there a podcast called Mind Pump out of San Jose, just north of me? I think this guy is from that podcast. I can't believe I remembered that name.
Looks like it.
Listen to this story. This is kind of long, but this is wild. I really like this. Okay, here we go. People who don't talk to strangers don't talk to angels.
I was an atheist, hardcore.
Great. Okay, this is really interesting. I have a daughter that my wife had noticed some maybe developmental issues with her movement and stuff. She took my daughter to a neurologist. The neurologist did an assessment and said, I think she's fine. However, she might have something called spinal tethering. And what happens is, as the baby grows, the spine will stretch and then they'll lose function of the lower half of the body. We can see it through an MRI. If we do identify it through an MRI, oftentimes we can surgically repair it and there's not an issue. Your 1-year-old's going to have to get an MRI if you want to know for sure. Well, to do an MRI for a 1-year-old can't sit. You ever have an MRI? A 1-year-old's not going to do that. So what do? They put him under general anesthesia. I'm like, I don't want to put my 1-year-old under general anesthesia. Yeah. It's not good for their brain. She's never been under general anesthesia. But then on the flip side, if there is spinal tethering, I want to know so we can maybe fix it. So I, for the first time in my life, was praying out loud. I've never done that before. So I'm driving to the pediatrician's office and I'm praying out loud. And the way I'm praying is like this. I'm like, God, I don't know if you're real. I need you to show me in obvious ways. Like, so then I go to the studio because I'm like, we're supposed to record a podcast. There was a parking lot that was next to our studio. There's a homeless dude building a fire in the middle of the parking lot. Okay, so I'm like, and I look at my rearview mirror and I'm like, maybe I'll ask this guy to pray for me, right? But I'm looking in the rearview mirror and this dude's building a fire. So I'm walking away, and then I hear, excuse me, sir, excuse me. Turn around, it's a homeless dude. I said, what's up? And he goes, have a nice day. So I said, you know what? I said, can you do something for me? I didn't give him money or anything. I just asked him. I said, can you do something for me? He says, sure. I said, can you pray for me? He says, yeah, I can pray for you. He said, what's going on? I said, well, I said, we're taking my daughter to the pediatrician today to get looked at. And then he interrupts me and he goes, is it her spine? Shut the fuck up.
Swear to God.
Shut up.
Listen to me, I swear to God.
No.
Listen to me, I swear to God.
No, bro.
I swear on everything. It's hard not to get choked up talking about it. It's true. So it hit me like a brick. He said, is this something with her spine? So I felt like someone punched me. And he says, I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. And I said, so after that conversation, I had money in my wallet. And I thought maybe I'll give him some money. But I didn't give him any money. I said, is there anything I can do for you? And he said, no. He goes, you've done more for me than society's done in a long time. Thanks for talking to me. The day before that, I had just started reading scripture, which I'd never done before. And one of the first things I read was a story about Jesus and how he said the line, what you do to the least of you, you do to me. In other words, how you treat the worst in society, you're doing that to me. I remembered that right there because the guy said, you did more for me than society's done in a long time. That my daughter, she's 1, she's shy. She doesn't want, when we go to the doctor, she's grabbing onto my wife and buries her head and doesn't want to come off. And if we peel her off to get weighed or checked, she cries. Yeah. My daughter's going to cry the whole time. She's not going to want to do anything. Because the test involved picking this up, climb over here, reach for this. Can you say this? Can you do that? Right? I'm like, what's going to happen? Bro, I get there. We bring my daughter in there. And all of a sudden, my daughter becomes a performer. Everything the pediatrician asked, it was like, bro, what the she's climbing, she's reaching, she's laughing, she's interacting for the whole thing. Pediatrician looked at us, she goes, for sure, she's fine. You don't need to do a test. And that was it, man. I was like, that's it. I'm a Christian, 100%. I was an atheist, hardcore.
What do you think?
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, Ken Walters, it's amazing to me how many times I hear non-believers call it God when things are getting gnarly and rock bottom. Yeah, fuck yeah. What do you mean? I don't call the fucking fire department when fucking things are good at the house. You
Is
know
that
what I
not-
mean?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting.
I remember the first time I prayed to God. I said I started it off the same way that did.
It was a really shitty time, and then you just started praying.
Well, I wasn't. I've told the story before. Do you remember where I wasn't going to graduate from fucking high school? Remember that story?
Yeah, I think so. Oh God.
And he made it so I'd graduate. I don't even remember the deal I made with him. I made the deal.
Just
God,
like-
I don't even know if you're real, or I don't even know if I believe in you.
I'll stop jerking off for a week.
I'll tell a quick version of it. So I get called into my counselor's office. There's like 2 months left in my senior year in high school. I get called in there, and she's like, "Hey, you're not going to graduate." And she's got this fucking manila envelope. She's like, "Here's your transcripts." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You don't have enough credits. You're only taking 2 classes your senior year." I'd been kicked out of fucking everything. And so she goes, "Do you want me to just double check, pull out your official transcript?" And I said, "Sure." So I guess that was a different file. So when she leaves, my eyes start, my tear ducts turn on, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna cry." And I start praying to God, "Dear God, I don't even fucking believe in you. I've never prayed to you, but fucking now's the time, dude. You gotta fucking hook me up." And I made some sort of deal with God. I don't even remember what the deal is.
Just take the trash out for your mom or something.
I don't know. It's probably like not shoot windows out with my BB gun in the neighborhood or something.
Yeah.
And
Something arbitrary.
yeah. And she comes back in, and she goes, she opens up the file, and she's like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You do have enough credits to graduate." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "In my freshman year, one day after school, I was walking by the cafeteria, and there were all these hot chicks in there, and they were practicing for a school play." And I was like, "That's the only way those girls will ever talk to me." So my freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, did all the high school plays. And I guess I got credit for it, and I didn't know it.
Yeah, right. Huh.
And that was the first time.
Then what?
You think it was a deal with the devil?
Graduate high school? Come on.
Dear Bernie Gannon, dear God, if you let me graduate, I'll bring the message of the exerciser to the masses. Whatever you do, don't get 40% off of Fit Aid by using that QR code. They're not a sponsor anymore. Whatever you do not. How dare you? They're not even paying for this show. Do not get 40% off. That would be so selfish of you. Do not. God, I just say Fit Aid and I start salivating.
I still have some.
It's Pavlovian.
Pavlovian, that's right.
Yeah, theater kid. Yeah. And do you know what I would do? I had a Walkman, you know, the kind where you put cassette tape in.
Yeah. The over-the-head headphones and everything.
Yeah, and I had all these like I was big into Stevie B. Do you know who Stevie B is?
No. Let's find out.
Or whoever. I was big into Stevie B and Digital Underground. Stevie B videos. Let me see if I oh yeah. Oh God, this song was one of my favorite songs.
Oh, I know Digital Underground.
Yeah, I love Digital Underground.
Holy fucking hair, dude.
God, I fucking love Stevie B. Anyway, so I would have Stevie B in like Digital Underground, like Sex Packets. I love that song. And I would always like ask the girls if they wanted to listen to it. Like that was like my way of like, hey, you want to listen to my Walkman?
You want to go drink a box of wine and listen to my Walkman?
Hey, there was this. Who knows? Yeah, no, it was before wine, before I used drugs and alcohol to seduce women. Just music.
Okay.
What was that song? There was a song that was the same beat as I Got Five on it, but it was a love song. Does anyone know what that song was? That was one of my favorites too. I want to say it was It was Humpty Hump who sung "I Got 5 on It," right? Was it Humpty Hump? Who was it?
Loonies.
Oh yeah. What? Yeah. That they sung "I Got 5 on It."
Yeah.
There was a love song version of that. Oh shit! I didn't even know "I Got 5 on It" has a fucking. It has a video. God, that song was great. I'm pretty sure Humpty Hump's in this. Let me see if I can find his pic. Damn, I didn't even know there was a video for this. Wow. There was a love song No Diggity Blackstreet.
Yo Diggity.
Damn, what was the God. Anyway, I forget my point. Oh, I graduated. God. Yeah, God. Back to God. So I graduated. What are you going to do?
It was called Good Looking by Dixon Dallas. How's that?
It was the Digital Underground. I Got 5 on It beat. Let's see. Oh. Wow, Pool Boy. If you got that right, that would be crazy. I don't think this is it. No. This is a country song. He's fucking with us.
Nope. God damn it, Pool Boy.
What was that song?
Julia, you're too late.
Why Can't We Live Together? No. What was that song? I have a friend here at my house who might know.
My gay country song. Yeah, it's pretty gay. Pool Boy.
Let me see.
Yes, that song.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I got a question for you. Do you remember that song I Got 5 on It by the Loonies?
Yeah.
What was the love song version of that? There was a song that was like a love song with the same beat. Do you remember that?
Let me figure it out. You want me to text you?
Sure, if you find it. It was like but it was that same beat.
They stole the beat from something for that song, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the Loonies stole it too, but it was kind of like a love song.
Well, that's what I mean. The Looney song. You think the love song was before or after?
I think it was after I Got 5 on It.
Okay. Let me see what I can figure it out.
Did you used to listen?
Think of it right now.
Did you used to listen to Stevie B?
Yeah.
Do you remember when I had the 415s in my Rabbit and we would drive around with Stevie B just blasting?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good old days. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let me see if I can figure it out. It's from the I Got 5 on It song.
I think so. That's
or sound or whatever.
Yeah, that's the way I remember it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Bye. All right. One of my fact checkers. I don't think it was Tupac. Bruh, I had a Rabbit. Yeah, it is 77 Rabbit. Took out the back seat and put in. Oh, Red Coolio is great. Anyway, we're off subject. Back to ass pounding Mike Walls. Tim Walls. Mike Cooper. Hey, did you see Tim Walls' brother's getting ready to spill the beans on what a scumbag his brother is?
No, but I was when I was Googling, I saw some stuff about that.
So let me get this straight because this is a lot to unpack. Tim Walls wasn't the sergeant that he said he was and never went to combat, but was trying to ban the guns that he said he carried into a combat that he never went to. And then he said he was the head coach of a school that he was never the head coach of. But in fact, he was the head coach of a different school to which he ended up resigning because he got a DUI and then pretended to be deaf to get out of the DUI, is the same guy who set up a COVID hotline system for people to call and rat each other out if they weren't following the rules that he put in place. And this is the guy you picked? Man, his story just keeps getting better and better. I mean, literally, you can't make this shit up.
Did you hear also that he said that he got his wife pregnant using IVF, and then he got caught lying about that, and so they the media went back and changed all the titles of all the headlines?
What?
He's such a fucking scumbag, this guy. What he did though, what he did around the George Floyd thing is just the worst thing. Yeah, it's I would have done that. In his defense, if I got a DUI, I'd pretend I
had a friend who recently
I'd pull out, I'd do anything. I'd fucking suck the fucking officer off.
So I have a friend who recently got pulled over, and he drives what were those fucking cars called? The Ford they used to be the cop cars, the really old ones, the Crown Vic. He drives a Crown Vic.
Yeah.
And it's got like the cattle bumper on the front, and it's like it's got the
Did it have the light?
Yep, it's got the little like spotlight on the front, and he's got like super blacked out tinted windows, like the whole thing. And he's driving at like 4:30 in the morning, and he's going like 65 and a 35, gets pulled over. The officer comes to the window and he goes, "Oh, it looks like we got ourselves a blue on blue today, huh?" He's like trying to like he's like, "Oh, I drive a fucking Crown Vic, like I'm a cop too, you know, kind of thing." And then he's like, "Oh, you're a cop?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "All right."
Hold on one second. Hold on. What's the name of the song?
Why you treat me so bad?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, so you hear the words, you know exactly how it fits into that beat. You hear the name, right?
Yeah, you're a boss. All right, thank you.
Okay.
We'll go to that in 1 second. That was a song I used to seduce women to. I mean, that never worked, by the way. The wine was way more effective than headphones. Those girls thought I was a joke. I never even kissed one of those girls. Or one time I had to kiss one on stage, but that's it. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so your buddy said that. Oh, look like we got a blue on blue, and the cop said, "Oh, you're a cop."
Yeah, and he's like, "Nah," and then he's like, "All right, license and registration," and then slapped a $350 fucking or like a $400 ticket on him.
Oh, for what? Speeding
For
or
speeding.
something? Yeah. Oh, at least he didn't get a DUI or fucking impersonating a cop.
Yeah, for sure. It was just
dude. He's lucky he pulled out.
Yeah,
I think impersonating a cop might be really fucked up.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Why you treat me
I got
so
it pulled
bad.
up already.
God, you guys suck I've never been so disappointed in the chat that you guys didn't know this. Okay, here we go. Oh, yep, this is it. God, I love this song. This is a great song.
I loved you, but you turned and you walked away.
Wow. He's good.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah. Last night I went to he's at my house now, and yesterday he's got his kids over here, and we went down to the creek, and God, it was so hard not to fucking drink, but I wanted to be completely sober for the Fikowski show.
Yeah.
For the treat Fikowski, how you would, my whole motto was just treat people how you want to be treated. Even though it's so fucking hard because he's asking for Dave's job, it just makes me want it like.
Yeah, that's tough.
Do you remember when we were done with the show and we were just chatting in the back, and Bill Grunler basically fucking hit it out of the park when he said, "Hey, when you ask for a dude's fucking job, like what he's done by making those demands, it's like he's put everything on the line. Fikowski's put his job, his friends, his everything. Like
it's not just like a.
It's like full nuclear. It's like I wonder if he knows that. Like you went nuclear, dude.
I don't think when people do that, I don't think they understand the consequences of that request.
Yeah, I mean the dude's it's his job of 20 years. He made the fucking games. He's got fucking kids and a wife and like man, dude. Yeah, it's like he's basically just coming full blast at a dude.
Yeah, right.
And you got to know, it's like flashing someone your piece. You know what I mean? Like the second you flash your piece, what if the other dude has a gun and you get in a gunfight? You better be ready.
Oh yeah, I mean that's like as soon as you pull your weapon, you should be prepared to be firing it. Like you're not gonna pull your weapon and just point it at somebody and be like, "Hey, don't do what you're doing." Like by the time you pulled your weapon, you should be prepared to fucking kill the person that's your attacker or your assailant.
If someone flashed, like if someone flashed it, let's say I'm just a generic situation. I'm somewhere with my kids and someone flashed their piece at me. I have two choices: to just run full speed the other direction or shoot you, because you just showed me that you're an imminent threat to my child's life and life. Even just like lifting your waistband up, I'm like, bye bye. Yeah. And so basically, he flashed his piece at Dave, and it's fucking crazy. Publicly rallying support for other people to fucking get him. I mean that's or else you wouldn't have done it publicly. That's the only thing I can think of.
Fortunately for Dave, it's only a BB gun,
right?
At the moment.
Jake Chapman, he brought a sock to a knife fight.
Yeah.
You know what else is crazy too? Someone in the comments wrote, "You guys are missing the point. The whole thing is this is about Lazar's. Lazar died." No, we're not. That's what's so fascinating about it. We're not missing the point. It's fascinating that this is what it's turned into. Because of what you have to remember, Brent's leading the dance. He wants to lead the dance. That's what it's turned into. No one's forgotten that Lazar died.
Yeah.
I watched that video 2 more times yesterday where he fucking stumbles away to get a glass of water. I just cannot stop watching it. That and the John Young video. Those are like the 2 best videos in the history of CrossFit. I think that those are better. Who's the chick who fell over with the weights and almost got killed and it went viral? That was a truly viral video.
Rose Scott.
Wow, good job. Yeah, I would put these up there in the Rose Scott fucking pantheon of all-time best CrossFit videos. Those 3: John Young, Tyler and Spin, and now Fikowski fucking having brain fog for fucking 5-second brain.
Mount Rushmore of just
epic videos.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Brooke Wells snapping her elbow was a good one. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Can you hear this when I play it? That's probably too long.
It's a lot of white noise.
God, that is, I think probably musically it's probably just shitty music.
He brought a flaccid dildo to fight a Navy SEAL.
Someone said that of Storm. Oh god.
Jeez, dude.
Oh my god. Okay. Here we go. 7 years ago today, Trump said this. The media spun it and aired it almost every single day for weeks, if not months. Here it is in full context. Once again, look at this guy, Michael. Wow, my mind is blown. I swear American mainstream media is so dangerous. I can't believe this is the first time I'm seeing this. Yeah, it's crazy, right? This is a black dude, right? This is fucking August 15th. The last 4 years, he's thought that fucking Trump was a white supremacist because of what the fucking media said. And they said it during the entire DNC.
Very fine people on both sides. And I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. And you had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. George Washington was a slave owner. Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status? Are we going to take down, excuse me, are we going to take down statues to George Washington? How about Thomas Jefferson? What do you think of Thomas Jefferson? You like him? Okay, good. Are we going to take down the statue? Because he was a major slave owner. Now we're going to take down his statue. So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history. You're changing culture. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? Very fine people on both sides. And I'm not talking...
It's fucking crazy how they've spun it.
That is interesting.
Trump has lost weight since then. Has he? He looks kind of fat to me. I wish he'd lose more weight.
Yeah. Drinks a lot of Coke. Apparently.
Jeff Bako, excuse me, I'm speaking. Where have I heard that before? Oh my God, Jeff, you're just like grasping.
He's been on one today.
When's he not on one?
Yeah, true.
All right. I feel like I got through a lot today. What is this? Is this Dana White? Oh, fuck it. One more. This one's good. This one's always good. I'm sure I've played this before. Might as well. Theo Von, Dana White. Here we go.
This is the moment when Dana had Theo's back.
Yeah, because we had Robert Kennedy Jr. on, and we had a company call, or a couple companies call after that and say, yeah, just stuff about him. We're not advertising on this episode. My advertiser's like, you guys need to take the episode down.
What sponsored did it?
Peloton was the...
Peloton?
Yeah.
What do they sell, fucking bikes? The stationary bikes?
Yeah, dude.
Peloton sells stationary bikes, and they got a problem with Robert fucking Kennedy. Do we have Pelotons in the gym? Are those Peloton? We're getting rid of them. We're getting rid of the Pelotons. Pelotons are out of the gym.
Whoever uses the most can fucking have them at home, but they can't use them here, brother.
I'm not bullshitting you. You can film us. My guys are going to take the Pelotons out of the gym today.
Thanks, dude. That makes you feel empowered, honestly.
This is what I do.
This is the moment when Dana had Theo's back.
That's pretty cool. I remember seeing that. And I was kind of tripping about it.
Are there any games athletes that just fucking go hard?
Not yet. Taylor Self.
Yeah, I mean he's the
Yeah, none of the other ones do.
Colton's close.
He is.
Very close.
He talks about shit.
James goes pretty hard in the Jesus camp.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't think I'm trying to think if there's any none of the games athletes seem very sexual. Dude, let me think. Oh yeah, Ricky Mack fucks like a machine, dude. Ricky oozes sex.
I don't think that's what he means, but yeah, sure.
Let me think of what girls ooze sex. Ariel's pretty revved up. She's pretty revved up.
Yeah, I could see that.
She's married, but her and Dylan, like they don't miss a day.
Yeah.
You think Tia seems sexual? Not so much to me. I mean, I think her fucking body's fucking like one of the best, but she doesn't seem sexual to me. Like trying to think who. I need to see the list. I almost don't like this game. I'm going to say something here I regret, I know. You think Danielle Brandon is sex? I don't know. I think Danielle Brandon, I don't know if I'd see her. I don't know, dude. Oh, yeah. I think Emily Rolfe's probably pretty fired up. Gets pretty fired up. DBE, absolutely. You think? Well, Paige, for sure. We have some evidence. Let me see. Let me see.
That.
She's too young, though. I can't.
Very astute observation.
Paige seems like a girl, like just a kid to me. I'm almost uncomfortable saying she. Oh, Gracie Walton. is fucking. I don't know if she's fucking hot as fuck. I'll tell you that. Cara Saunders, fucking poor Maddie probably can't keep up. Let me see. I don't know. I don't really see any on here.
Tyler says Angelo oozes sex. I could agree with that.
Oh, DeChico?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's probably pretty horny.
That guy fucks.
All right, there's one or two names I'm holding back. I just want to be honest with you. Oh, wow. Yeah. Marshall, a song which itself sampled Club Nouveau's 1987 song, Why You Treat Me So Bad. Oh, did the PFAA make a statement?
They sent out an email, I think.
Maybe I should read it. Hello, PFAA athletes and supporters. I wasn't really thirsty and needed a cup of water. I actually was just freaking out. Oh, shit. Hello, PFAA athletes and supporters. I know publicly the discourses around our recent demands, and we'll continue to clarify those statements with more media in the coming days. If any of you want to reach out to me or any other members of the board, please do so if you have any questions at all privately. However, as I hope it's been clear in our conversations, there are numerous things in our sport that are long overdue for change. No, it has not been clear in your conversation at all, and you shouldn't hope that it's been clear. Because no one fucking knows, dude. No one knows. Not one person. I haven't seen anywhere where someone's like, I get what he's saying. All they ever say is, Sevi, you're an asshole.
There's a lot of that.
We are creating working groups to create written solutions. Oh, we are creating working groups to create written solutions. So they're not even at the written solutions part. They're at the creating the groups for the written solutions. Dude, if you don't have fucking even the groups to write the solutions, how are we supposed to even know what the fuck you've been saying? Then we will find ways to implement them at the competitions that mean the most to athletes. Oh, man. By the way, should have had someone proofread this. Safety. A team of safety experts are already creating emergency action plans. However, as experienced athletes and coaches, we can provide insight into what is required to keep us safe during the more unique aspects of our sport. Creating a handbook of movements with the best in our sport that are creating a handbook of movements with the best possible written standards. Creating a handbook of movements with the best possible written standards. Anyway, maybe I'll do a show tonight and go over this. Maybe I'm just wasting our time. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Hi, Avi. Bye-bye. Thanks, Caleb.